Yes, Samuel Harrison. Yes. 52 seconds of Ultratech talking into a muted mic. Seems like bad and old habits die hard, don't they? Hey, wouldn't be the same, would it, if I wasn't doing my intros into a muted mic when nobody's around. Right, let's give that a take two. So Conor Benn versus Chris Algieri. Consider this a Christmas present from me to you, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be watching this fight live. I wouldn't be covering this fight. Mainly because I've got better things to do. Mainly because I've got a lot better things to do with my time. And this isn't really a premium fight. This really, if we're being honest, Conor Benn, Chris Algieri, this is this is what we call a Sky Plus fight, innit? Am I being right? Let's be honest, innit? I mean, I know we're desperate for a bit of decent boxing, but this really is a Sky Plus fight, innit? Sky Plus it, see it in the morning. You know, DVR it, see it in the morning. I don't know what you do. Fucking stick your videotape in, VHS it, set the timer. Who remembers the VHS days? Who remembers the VHS days back in the day? Setting the timer on 2:30 in the morning, WCW. Making sure that you set the timer for WCW at 2:30 in the morning. Get up in the morning the next day and watch it. That's what Conor Benn versus Chris Algieri is. This isn't exactly fucking must-watch boxing, is it? But nevertheless, yeah, we have a few interesting subplots that are going on. Thank you very much. That's the Mrs. bringing me a nice cup of tea. What can you say, eh? Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so, yeah. Shevin saying, VHS record timer to catch thing. Bro, who remembers that back in the day? WCW. 3:30 in the morning, yeah? Catch WCW worldwide. Don't forget to set your VHS, mate. Sting, Vader, Psycho Sid. They were the days, isn't it? It's funny, isn't it, how in simpler times, it's funny how easier life was in simpler times. Nevertheless, like I said before, there are some interesting subplots tonight. Will the British judges make absolute assholes of themselves again? Because there's a few people, I haven't checked the betting odds, I will check them in a minute, which will be quite embarrassing because I have actually never betted. Well, I have betted in my life, but I don't bet. And I don't understand betting odds. Do you know what I mean? So I don't bet and I don't understand betting odds. But I will put the odds up for you in a minute. Now, there's a few people who think, yeah, that Chris Algieri could cause an upset tonight. But they're not convinced that Chris Algieri is going to get it on the cards. One sec. Shout out to Dev. Hold on. Cheers, Dev, for lending me that joke. That's Dev's joke. I did a joke on Twitter, and it's Dev's joke. Shout out to Dev Sani, yeah, the one of the top guys at Queensbury, MC, does a lot of the interviews, social media guy. Shout out to Dev Sani. You all know who Dev Sani is, right? Yo King says, "Bro, I dubbed so many films on one VHS. Press pause to edit out all the ads." VHS, man. Back in the day, life was so simple, wasn't it? Londoner in the Sticks says, big up Ultratech, been a long time subscriber, but this is the first time I've managed to catch one of your watch alongs. Salute, bro. Listen, I'm not even joking, right? And this is no disrespect. Let me tell you how subscribers doesn't mean anything, right? So there's another channel at the minute who I've got a lot of respect for. I've got no problem with this channel. This channel has got 5 times the number of subscribers that this channel does. Right now, yeah, they've got about 50 or 60 people in the live, right? I've got 5 times less subscribers, right? In the space of 4 minutes and 50 seconds, right? We've already got to the same number of live viewers that they have. This is why I keep telling people, subscriber numbers don't mean jack shit. This channel punches above its weight. There's no channel right now. I don't think there's a single boxing channel on the planet right now that has more engagement pound for pound than this channel. The numbers are a joke. We're doing. I'm not going to get into it, but we're doing ridiculous numbers, right? Stephen Jones says, Chris, a 12-1 knockout. Listen, I don't understand betting odds, but I will get the betting odds up very, very quickly. What do you guys think about the fight? Do you think Chris Algieri's got a chance? It looks to me like a few people are now late on saying, look, we think Chris Algieri might do something in this fight, but might get robbed. I have to say, he looks in tremendous shape. I haven't seen his most recent fights, okay? But a few other people are saying in his recent fights, he's looked tremendous as well. I hope I get this right, you know, because I don't know anything about betting odds. Right. These are the odds. Let me get this up on the screen. 1 second. Hold on a minute. For anybody who's fucking interested, how do I get this box life shit off the screen? 1 second. I've totally fucked this up, haven't I? Right, let's have a look. Let's just go with it. So, Conor Benn, Chris Algieri 9-2 with Bet365, 9-2 with Sky Bet, Paddy Power, 11-2 with William Hill. Obviously, I haven't got the. I don't know how to get up, like, you know, if they're going to win by knockout, if they're going to win by points or whatever decision. If there's anything you want me to look at or anything you want to point out, let me know. Listen, I don't know nothing about betting, but it's interesting for you guys. Aaron Patterson, welcome back, says 14-1 Algieri to win by stoppage. I had a winner earlier, so I stuck a fiver on him for a possible £75 return. So Aaron Patterson, obviously going to the Billy Nelson School of Betting, he stuck a fiver on Algieri, 14-1 knockout over Conor Benn. Ben Ellis says, look at this guy. Is this your real picture, Ben? Because you are obviously some kind of tank. Is that really you? Jesus fucking Christ. Love how you're always live for British fights, representing British boxing. Well, Jesus Christ. I need to represent myself in the gym, Ben. Maybe one day I'll end up looking like you. Fuck me, an absolute tank. Let's have a look here. But let me tell you this now. When I go through your comments, I don't go through your comments in order. So don't worry if I haven't read your comment out yet. I will get to it. Rahim Majid says, I hope Algieri gives it a good go. Ben still has a lot to prove. He's the real deal. This will be a good test for him. Well, like I said before, if you're calling out fucking Sean Porter, yeah, and the likes of Sean Porter, then really you need to be getting rid of the likes of Chris Algieri. Am I right about that or am I wrong about that? That's the bottom line of it, really, isn't it? That's the bottom line of it, really, isn't it? If you're calling out the likes of Sean Porter or Johnny Nelson's gassing you up to make people believe that you can get in the ring, yeah, with the likes of Sean Porter, then you know you need to be producing against the likes of Chris Algieri, innit? Innit? ABC 1, 2, 3, innit? It is what it is. Let's just do this border. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? GB Guthrie says, if Algieri gets let out of the cage, then Ben's in trouble. Obviously, this is a very, very funny situation because Chris Algieri is an employee of DAZN. So you've got a DAZN fighter fighting an employee of DAZN. That's weird, isn't it? Let me say that one more time. We've got an employee of DAZN fighting a DAZN fighter. You still want to bet on this? I ain't too sure. Joe, helping me out, says 9-2 means if you bet £10, you'll get 55 back. Thanks. Listen, I am not a betting man. I am fucking clueless when it comes to betting. Straight up, clueless. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Mark Stanton said exactly the same thing I just said. Mark Stanton says it is technically Ben versus a DAZN commentator pundit. Bit dodgy, innit? I'm not saying Chris Algieri doesn't want to come to win, innit? But let's be fucking honest. That is a bit dodgy, innit? You got DAZN fighters fighting DAZN employees. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a betting man, but to be honest, even if I was a betting man, I think I might miss out on this fight. You get me? Brian Burke is trying to explain why he hasn't been turning up to watch the channel. Brian, no one gives a fuck about your exams, yeah? No excuses, Brian. No excuses. You have to be on this channel at all times. No one wants to hear your excuses, Brian Burke. Shout out to Brian Burke. 22 years old and he's studying, mechanical engineering. That's what we want, yeah? From the up and coming youth, the ultra tech youth. Studying proper subjects. Brian isn't in school studying what? I'm going to get in trouble again with social media. But what is it they study these days? You know what I'm talking about. Or them, what do they call it? They call it the liberal arts, yeah? Fuck me. Well, listen, I made the mistake of getting a liberal arts degree. But hey, it was what it was. It is, it's Ben. Ben says it is, mate, yeah. Back in my bodybuilding days. Fucking hell. He thinks Conor Benn on points or late stoppage for me. PG, shout out PG. PG, are you still sparring unvaccinated? And have you caught it yet? Let me know. PG, if you're still sparring unvaccinated. I've only been in the gym once since COVID, but I did spar unvaccinated and I didn't catch COVID. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be back in the gym. Let's have a look. Joe says, Ultra tech under 25s. We need lawyers, engineers, economic experts. We'll run the private sector. Absolutely. We get a few. Harvey Chan is another one who's a mod. Actually, a mod. He's also a mod here. Harvey Chan. Shout out to Harvey Chan. I think he's also going through uni as well. But you know how these. Anyway, I'm not gonna. But Harvey Chan studying real subjects. Do you know what I mean? When they come to me and they say, "Yo, Ultra, I always listen to you," because I get a lot of people. Well, I get a few people like, "Ultra, thanks. You really helped me get through my studies. I listened to you during university. I listened to you during study, innit?" And I say, yeah. I say, yeah. What are you studying? That's the first thing I ask them. What are you studying? Because if you're studying some bullshit, I'm just going to ban you on the spot. If I find out you're studying, do you know what I mean? If I find out you're getting a degree in medieval poetry or some stuff like that, then I'm just going to ban you, innit? Go listen to the other channel. ATP. Listen to this, right? This is what I talk about engagement, right? 11 minutes, 80 people. I'm not joking. I've seen people live for the last 2 hours that haven't even hit 80 people. We hit 80 people in 11 fucking minutes. It is what it is, isn't it, down here? PG saying, yeah, bro, been in the gym 4 times this week, unvaccinated, not in Miguel's. There you go, PG. Shout out to PG. I need to get back in the gym. PG, I'm back in the gym again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if my health stays right, February time. And I'm going to be going, hopefully, regular from February time. But I have gone already. I got battered up. Shevin saw the pics. It wasn't good. I actually boxed. I didn't box in the ring. I boxed outside on the mats. Yeah. I had a few just little... We called it light sparring, but Shevin saw the state of my face afterwards. I was bruised and battered afterwards. So, you know what I mean? It's not really light sparring. It's light in terms of like, we're not trying to kill each other, but Shevin will tell you, he's seen the photos. The shots fly in. And I came home bruised. There was one guy, I actually sparred quite well for the first time in 2 years. First time I'd sparred in about 1.5, 2 years. And I actually sparred outside of the mats quite well. But there was this one guy, I was catching him clean with shots, but he was hitting me. Every time he hit me, it felt like a truck, man. Every time this guy hit me, I could feel his knuckles come through the glove. And it didn't hurt. And I looked at my face afterwards, and my face was completely marked up. I had bruises everywhere. Let's have a look here. Kwazim Din says, Ben stops him in round 1. Then Eddie, after the fight, will say he stopped him quicker than Spence, and Khan couldn't do that to him. Let me tell you something right now, right? Honestly, let me tell you where we're at with Eddie Hearn and DAZN very quickly, right? This is where we're at. In fact, I'm not even going to show. All I'll tell you this is now. If I'm DAZN, those reports about BT Sport being bought out by Discovery, if you're a Matcham fan, if you're a big Matcham supporter, you better hope that those reports of Discovery partnering with BT, you better hope that those stories are bullshit. That's all I got to say, because if DAZN can't get any football, they're finished. I'll tell you that now. It's just going to become Box Nation 2.0. So they have to get mainstream sport. They have to get mainstream sport. If they can't, stick a fork in them. So the recent news coming out that BT might partner up with Discovery, no good, man. That ain't no good for no Matcham fanboys. Shevin says Ultra last return had him using the Jared Hurd defense. Man, you know what, Shevin? My defense, this one guy started catching me. Do you know what it was? I got on the inside, and do you know what I was doing? I was so unfit. I got up on the inside with this guy, and this guy was a puncher, yeah? Obviously, we're at white collar level. We're not champions. PG boxers at a good level. PG boxers at a very good level, right? And Toby players, they all box at a good level, right? I don't box at a good level. I box at white collar level. But what I did was I let my head fall down the inside. When you're on the inside, it's always important, to take your head off the center line. Always. Don't leave your... And when I'm in the center line, like I said before, if you imagine your opponent holding out, or if you look in the mirror and hold out your left hand and your right hand, or if you look at yourself and just hold out your 2 hands right in front of you, right? And the center line is that line going down your chest. You don't want to place your head down that center line, because it means the opponent can hit you with any shot. You want to place your head to one side or the other side. You want to place your head at an angle. If you hold your arms out right now, you never want to let your head on the inside fall down the center line right in between the opponent's 2 hands, because they can hit you with any shot. And that's what I was doing. And I started taking uppercuts. And I very rarely get hit with uppercuts, But that was 2 years out the gym. 2 years. I can't read that. Let's have a look. Casa Cording says, I'm 37, weighing exactly 147 pounds, fighting fit, ready for up-and-coming civil disobedience. Man, you know what I mean? I can't comment on that, obviously, on this channel, because I am in sore. I'm in a lot of trouble as it is. Do you know what? I can't even cover this Dave Allen story. I'm not even sure if I can cover this Dave Allen story. Maybe we'll cover it on a show tomorrow because Riku might be. I haven't spoken to Riku yet, but it's about that time normally where I get a message from Riku saying, "Mate, what are you doing tomorrow morning?" That's the kind of guy Riku is. The king, yeah. Riku is the king, so it is what it. Oh, it's Katie Taylor boxing. Let me get this card on. I didn't even realize. So I'll get this card. I haven't even got the card on. So I get this card on now, and we'll watch Katie Taylor. But yeah, it's normally about this time I get a message from Lord Riku about Ultra. What are you doing tomorrow morning? So if Riku comes on, we'll discuss Dave Allen. Dave Allen got absolutely shafted. Have you guys heard the story? Basically, hopefully we'll talk about it tomorrow. Long story short, Dave Allen has done an interview, all right? And Dave Allen in the interview has confirmed what I've been telling people for 2 years on this channel. Dave Allen said the following. He said that Frank Warren offered him £300,000 to fight Daniel Dubois, right? He told that Eddie Hearn told him, don't take the deal. That's what Eddie Hearn told Dave Allen. Eddie Hearn told Dave Allen, don't take the deal. And then he then promised Dave Allen that he will match Frank Warren's £300,000 offer in the next fight, right? Then Dave Allen's next fight came along. Granted, it was during the COVID period, and Eddie Hearn made him offers for 4 or 5 fights, and they were nowhere near the 300K that he promised to match. Nowhere near. The most amount of money that Eddie Hearn offered Dave Allen after convincing him to turn down a 300K payday from Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn offered Dave Allen a third of that money to fight Hughie Fury, and Dave Allen turned it down. Or I think Dave Allen said he turned it down. So there you go. There you go. Frank Warren, Dave. This is from Dave Allen's mouth. Maybe we'll do it on the show tomorrow. I've got permission from the podcast owner to use this footage. Dave Allen in the podcast, right? He's confirmed. Frank Warren offered Dave Allen £300,000 to fight Daniel Dubois. Eddie Hearn told Dave Allen, do not take the offer from Frank Warren. I will match it in your next fight. Eddie Hearn then proceeded to make a series of offers to Dave Allen that were nowhere near £300,000. And Dave Allen said that's part of the reason why he retired from boxing. We look after, what is it Barry Hearn says? We are the fighters' friends. That's what Barry Hearn says. We are friends for the fighters. I've been telling Dave Allen when he was on social media, I used to actually have back and forths with Dave Allen. I used to have back and forths with Dave Allen. I used to tell Dave Allen on social media, and he used to respond to a few of these. I've actually had a little back and forth with him, and I've said, Eddie Hearn, right? Do you know Eddie Hearn's just using you, right? You know that, right? Like, Eddie Hearn's just using you. Like, do you realize, Dave? Like, you need to open your eyes, Dave. And he didn't listen, and he got absolutely fucking screwed. That was dreadful. Shout out to Dave Allen. Lost out on 300K. 300K. There you go, JG. Our fighters are our family. Absolutely disgusting. 300K. I would love to hear Eddie Hearn confirm or deny that story. Although I think we all know if it's true or not. That's disgusting, you know. And you know what's so funny? Nobody in the media wants to cover that story. Nobody. Can you imagine? Can I just say this before we get onto the Katie Taylor card? Can you imagine if a fighter came out and said Frank Warren did that? That Frank Warren said, don't sign with Eddie Hearn. I will match Eddie Hearn's next deal. And then go and offer the fighter. Dave Allen said he was getting offered 10, 15K to fight Dorian Darch after he was promised 300 fucking K next fight. What can you say about that? What can you say? It is what it is. Right. Katie Taylor. Let's start cracking on with it. Let me read these comments. I'm just trying to get my DAZN up here. That's all. Just trying to get my flipping DAZN up. For some reason, I can't get it up. I think I've got it up now. Right. Let's have a look. Yeah. Let me try and get up this DAZN. People are asking me, are you watching the fight? I'm trying to get DAZN up in a minute. Here we go. Here we go. Right. Taylor looking good. Well, it is what it is. Londoner in the Sticks says, Dave Allen is seriously an absolute car crash. He needs to stay away from boxing for his own health and sanity and stick to being a northern celebrity racehorsing expert. listen, I'll be honest with you. I didn't want Dave Allen to take that Daniel Dubois fight. If you remember, I campaigned for Dave Allen not to take the Daniel Dubois fight because I felt that Daniel Dubois would have just, Dave Allen's slurring his speech now, right? I mean, can you imagine if he'd got in a ring with Daniel Dubois? He'd be slurring his speech even more. I've got Katie Taylor on in the background, by the way, for those of you who give a shit. He'd be slurring his speech even more. But, what can you do? But when you're offered 300K, it's a different story. I mean, the fact he was offered £300,000, that's like life-changing money. Right. Katie Taylor. I'm not going to do any live commentary, but I've got this on. I've got my DAZN up. She's currently in the ring with Sharapova, yeah? And it's the same old Katie Taylor, really, isn't it? Same old Katie Taylor, isn't it? Like, she throws 500 pounds. She throws like, 4, 5, and 6 shots every time, don't she? Katie Taylor, it'd be nice to see. It'd be nice to see Katie Taylor just pick her shots for once. Pick a 1-2, pick a 1. But she, what she does, Katie Taylor? She loves to jump in head first and throw 4, 5 punch combinations. There's always a lot of head clashes in Katie Taylor fights, aren't there? You noticed that? Have you noticed how many headbutts and head clashes there are in Katie Taylor fights? That's because she always jumps right in. She's not exactly like, some fighters are very, very clever with the way they close the distance, right? Some fighters are very, very clever with the way they creep into distance and close the distance. Katie Taylor's the complete opposite. She always just jumps, leaps straight into range and fires off a 4, 5 punch combination. Very amateur. I've always said it about Katie Taylor. And a few other boxing channels have sort of nicked what I've said, but she's got a very, very amateur style of boxing, Katie Taylor. She's very much in, out kind of boxer. Jump in, combination, jump out. I'm watching it now on the screen. She leaps in, combination, leaps out. Very much an amateur style of boxing. And listen, she's a world-class fighter, but as women's boxing evolves, that style's not going to... The more women's boxing evolves, especially if they start doing longer rounds, yeah, and things like that, that kind of style's not going to work. Because, like I said before, eventually, with the longer rounds, you saw what happened with Delphine Pearsoon, right? You saw what happened when she got in the ring with Delphine Pearsoon. Can you imagine if Katie Taylor got in the ring with Delphine Pearsoon for 3 minutes? She'd have got stopped in the first fight, 100%. So that style that she does, I feel, Katie Taylor, that kind of in and out combination, get out, that kind of fast-paced style she does, it works nice in this kind of era of women's boxing. But like I said before, you catch her doing 3 minutes, that would be interesting to see. Interesting to see. Brian Burke says, let me get some more interesting graphics up on the screen. I'm sorry. We'll go for some news in a minute as well, actually. Brian Burke says, Katie has been nominated for RTE Sports Person of the Year again. One of the best fighters Ireland has produced, but I don't rate her as highly as we'd... Look, Katie Taylor's coming to the end. If she's going to get in there with Amanda Serrano, this is what I'm talking about, pro fighting versus amateur fighting. You see when she gets in with Amanda Serrano, it's gonna be big trouble, because Amanda Serrano is a massive puncher. You know what I'm saying? Amanda Serrano is a massive puncher, and you see Katie Taylor, she walks herself onto a lot of shots because she just jumps in. She just jumps in, chin up, and throws a 3-4 punch combination and jumps out. But she walks herself onto a lot of shots. Yeah, and you see that in the Delphine Pearsoon fight. Look. And you look at her now against Sharapova. You see how the heads are always going in. That's because she's always just jumping in, Katie Taylor. And she doesn't even jump in behind the jab. If you watch Katie Taylor box, she doesn't even jump in behind the jab. She just jumps in. That's why there's a lot of head clashes when she jumps in. But like I said before, she jumps in against someone like Amanda Serrano. That might be a wrap because Serrano can really hit. She can really punch, and Serrano can punch with either hand. So I do fear for Katie Taylor in a fight with Amanda Serrano, to be honest. I do fear for her, because if she gets caught in that fight, she's going to feel it. And like I said before, if you look at the heads going in, I mean, it's embarrassing. What do you guys think about the heads? Can you see this with the heads going in non-stop? That's Katie Taylor, innit? The heads are always going in, jumps in head first. Like I said before, works well in this sort of, this era of women's boxing. But as women's boxing evolves, as the rounds get longer, yeah, as the women start to punch harder, they're becoming better athletes all the time. They're going to start punching harder. That kind of style that she's doing, to me, isn't going to work. But it does annoy me. Every time this woman fights, the heads just fly in. And the refs never do anything about it. Heads absolutely always flying in. 30 seconds left. Good combination from Katie Taylor. Taylor and Sharapova. It just is what it is. The heads are going in non-stop. Shadow Project's got Sharapova winning this. Sharapova is winning this 5 rounds in on my stream. Well, mate, you shouldn't be streaming it. You should be paying for DAZN Live. Dave Lane says, if Katie fights Serrano, she will get her biggest ever payday as Jake Paul manages Serrano. Well, let me tell you something about Amanda Serrano. Let me tell you, and you heard it on this channel first. Amanda Serrano punches very, very hard. There's a lot of people who think she punches like a man, yeah? So what I would say is this, right? Katie Taylor, all this falling in business that she's doing, she better not fall in against Amanda Serrano because she's going to... And Amanda Serrano punches to the body. She fights. The way she fights is a bit more like a pro fighter. Oh, what? We've got Ebony Bridges with our old friend Adi Oladipo. What the fuck is Ebony Bridges doing here? I have to say, Ebony Bridges looks dreadful tonight. And she's extremely, extremely good-looking woman, but she looks absolutely awful. Let me just see if I can get this up. Get a picture of her for you guys. Jesus, she looks dreadful. Ebony Bridges. Hold on. Let me get this up. She looks dreadful. Ebony Bridges. Shadow Project Limited says Ebony Pat Butcher. Ebony Bridges looks absolutely dreadful at the minute. I can't play that. I've got to be careful what I get up here. Oh, great. I hear Robbie Davis Jr. won. Oh, brilliant. That's absolutely amazing. Robbie Davis Jr. won. I bet you'll be fucking proud as punch to hear that shit. 1 second. I've got the photo. Right, let's get this up here quickly. Sorry, guys, bear with me. I've never seen Ebony Bridges look so bad in my entire life. And she's an extremely good-looking woman, let's be honest. That's why she gets to sell her knickers, yeah? How much do her knickers sell for in a minute? We'll go on our website and quickly check. It's Ebony Bridges currently on DAZN. Jesus. I didn't even catch the worst bit, but that's what Ebony Bridges is looking like at the minute. Fuck me. Can you believe it? What happened to Ebony Bridges, though? What happened? Oh, Hilly's saying couldn't wait to take a point. So is the ref taking a point off Sharapova, yeah? For doing what? Oh, he's taking a point off. There you go. Just to make sure, innit? Just to make sure. It looked to me like Taylor was putting the heads in to me. What was that? Was that a fair points deduction there? Listen, these match and DAZN cards are a fucking embarrassment. To me, it looks like, you know, like I said before, every single fight Katie Taylor fights in, the heads are always going in. Anyway, 6 out of 10 anyway. There's Ebony Bridges. What are we saying about Ebony Bridges here? She looks awful. She looks absolutely awful. Well, by her standards, by the way. By Ebony's standards. Ebony's an extremely good-looking woman. Right, I've completely gone and fucked up my my thing now. 1 second. As you can see, slight technical issue there. That's what I get for slagging off Mrs. Bridges. There we go. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Right, 103. By the way, guys, someone's saying Katie Taylor getting KO'd. Well, I'm watching it on and off. All right, but yeah, you guys aren't happy with me. Oh, MS22 says Sharapova punching her after the bell. Phil says it was a disgraceful point deduction. Okay. Phil's saying the fix is in. 98 in the chat. Can we please hit the like button? 39 likes. I mean, it's so embarrassing, the fact that you're giving me, a person of colour, only 39 likes. I might as well bring in Al Sharpton. Someone give me Johnny Cochran's number. Someone give me the number of Johnny Cochran. Do you know what I mean? I'm bringing in Johnny Cochran. I'm a person of colour doing a live stream and you're giving me 39 likes. That's outrageous, man. Yeah, Chevon says LLM. Light skin lives matter. Yeah, Chevon. I'm going to have to steal that one off you as well. LLM. Light skin lives matter. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my my things sorted out here. And then we'll get to your comments on Ebony Bridges. Jesus, to tell you what, this DAZN is fucking up tonight. Jeez, just play this thing. Right, let's go. Brian Murphy says Ebony is eating pies to beat the... Let's have a quick look at Ebony Bridges' website quickly. Let's see how much Ebony's knickers are costing tonight. Hold on. Maths teacher, they tell me. Here we go. Let's have a quick look at Ebony's website. Here we go. Ebony Bridges official. Let's have a look. What we got here? Right. So the prices haven't changed here. Dave says, has she got a Christmas deal on? She hasn't at the minute. So an autographed boxing glove. Well, hold on. Darren Barker's got Sharapova. Oh, behind. I thought you had Sharapova up. Sorry about that. My bad. Ebony Bridges autographed boxing glove, £175. So there you go. If you would like a nice Christmas present there, maybe one to give the missus, black lingerie V1. Let me get this up on the screen. Hold on. Let me move this down for you so you guys can see it. Black lingerie autograph photo from Ebony Bridges. Only £30. Ebony Bridges bringing in the fucking bargains there. Can you see that? Ebony Bridges bringing in the that's great. Oh, look, she got some new ones. Let's have a look. She got some new ones. Look at this stuff. She's got new ones. Here we go. Right. White lingerie. Oh, why is this? Hold on. Can you see this one here? White lingerie autograph photo. £30. £30. Look at this one. £30 for Ebony Bridges in white lingerie. Not bad. 30 quid. 30 quid a touch. There you go. There's not a lot of boxing, as I said before. There's not a lot of boxing on this on Ebony's webpage, is there? With all due respect, right? Am I being wrong for saying that, or what? Or you know, there's not a lot of boxing. There ain't a lot of boxing on here. Oh, Jesus fucking... Listen. Ebony Bridges is a very, very good looking woman in tremendous shape. Right? There's no question about it. So let the girl live. I just find it interesting, innit? I just find it interesting. Not a lot of boxing, but I'm sure she makes a fair min. Happy Christmas to Ebony Bridges. Let's have a look. MG says Ultra Sharapova is 11-1. She has no chance. Jar Glory says this DAZN card has been terrible. Has anybody paid for this? Press 1. Wait, let me ask you a question. If you're a subscriber to DAZN, just like me, if you're a subscriber to DAZN, just like me, can you press 1? Just out of interest. I know everybody subscribes to DAZN, obviously. But if you are a subscriber, can you press 1? Just interested to know. Let's have a look here. Marco says Wizard Sleeve has definitely been buying up. Marco thinks Wizard Sleeve is the one is buying Ebony Bridges photos for £40 a touch. Wow, quite a few of you got DAZN. Dave Lane subscribed to DAZN. Nick Mandelberg's got DAZN. PG's got DAZN. Harley, that doesn't surprise me, but that's a different story. Okay, all right. Let's have a look then. Ultra. I interviewed Michael Bent. Check him out on my channel. I was drunk as fuck. Just thought I'd say that because I'm bored of my fight stream. Plug in your own shit on my stream. If you want to go and listen to an interview with Michael Bent, he was at least a former British champion, maybe more. Please go to the Shadow Project Limited channel and go and view said interview. Do you know what? Do you know what I thought about the other day as well? Do you remember when people used to say that I wasn't a black? That's now completely stopped, obviously, right? But you know when people used to say, do you remember for years I had people lying and saying, Ultra's not really a black guy. Oh, look at this, look. I'm not going to start, look. Ultra's not really a black guy. He's a fake black guy. Do you remember that one? Do you remember when I was a fake black dude? When I apparently I was pretending, yeah? Until everybody who knew me knew that I was, what I was. But until this came out, yeah? That's me in the video saying, what was it? That's me in the video saying thank you to everybody, yeah? For subscribing and supporting the channel. Until this video came out. And then all of a sudden, all the talk about Ultra's not really black stopped, right? Do you remember that talk, yeah? And all those people who were saying it's a conspiracy, Ultra's not really black, man, they've all gone and disappeared, right? But let me tell you this. Do you know what I thought about as well? I don't think there's a channel out there, a non-LDBC channel out there, that features more people of color or that gives more people of color a platform than this channel. I thought about it the other day. If you think about all the people that come on this channel, all the contributors, Ingram's black, Daryl's black. We think Abdullah's black. We're not sure, but we think Abdullah's black. Shevon's black. I'm black. Riku is part black. And who else? Like, everybody's black. They're literally like, all we have is people of color on here. So I just thought that was very ironic, isn't it? For years they said Ultra's not really black guy. He's a fake. Well, it turns out they were wrong. And like I said before, literally everybody that's come on this channel is a person of color. Weird, isn't it? It is what it is. Harley says, you are right about Katie Taylor being a bit of a hype drop. She's looking sloppy here. Well, Katie Taylor, like I said before, you know, she should have at least 2 losses on her career, but it is what it is. Callum Karen says, I appreciate the stream, man. No problem, Callum. Appreciate you watching, and would appreciate it if you hit the like button. I'm not joking, right? We haven't even really got started in the main event. We're going to get started in the main event now. We're going to start talking about the main event now. Let me just put this into perspective, right? There are channels out there right now. There's one channel out there with my very good friend Spencer Fearon, who, you know, I've got a lot of time for, right? This channel has about 15 times less subscribers, and we're pretty much doing the same numbers. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? Wizard Sleeve can, okay, guys, look. Should Wizard Sleeve be allowed on this channel? Press 1 for yes or press 2 for no. If enough of you press 2, I'm going to ban Wizard Sleeve permanently because he's now mentioning the names of other channels. So I think it's time, yeah, for Wizard Sleeve to take a dirt nap on this channel because he's mentioning the names of other channels. So if you want Wizard Sleeve banned, press 2 and it'll be an immediate lifetime ban. Lifetime ban for Wizard Sleeve. Lifetime ban. I asked him last week, I said, can you come up with some new jokes? And he still ain't come up with no new jokes. There's a lot of 2s here, Wizard. There's a lot of 2s here, Wizard. Oh, there's a few 1s. Are they gonna save Wizard Sleeve? There's a few 1s in there. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Wizard Sleeve. He lives. They all put 1. Wizard Sleeve lives on. Wizard Sleeve defeats Ultra. That's it. There you go. Wizard Sleeve defeats Ultra. He stays in on the channel. But I tell you what, there's one thing I didn't tell you. This channel's a dictatorship, not a democracy. So I'm putting him in timeout. Fuck out of here with that crap. Exactly. 3 years and still no new jokes. And when he comes out of timeout, I'm going to ban him. Because in about 3 minutes' time, everybody will forget anyway. Ain't no one going to remember that I put him in timeout. And when he comes out of timeout in 300 seconds' time, I'm going to ban him as well. Fuck out of here, man. What do you think I am? You think this is democracy in here? I run this, yeah, like Kim Jong-il. Pretty soon, yeah, you'll need vaccine passports to come and fucking watch this channel. Right, guys. Katie Taylor is currently 87-83 up, according to Darren Barker. As you know, with women's boxing, we do 2-minute rounds. So these fights are very, very quick. Let's check the card for tonight. Sorry about that. We haven't talked much about tonight's card on Matchroom, have we? Probably for good fucking reason, eh? Let's check the delights that we are getting on tonight's... let's see the delights that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom are serving up for us tonight. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the running order. Oh, it looks like the main event's up next then. Thank fuck for that. Well, to be fair to Eddie Hearn, let me tell you one thing. Frank Warren, as we know, had Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde. And at one point, I thought they were going to come on at sunrise. Remember last week's card? Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde. Jesus Christ. These two brothers were in the back here. It was like 11:30, 11 o'clock. These two still hadn't come out. I was thinking, what time's Frank going to have the main event on? Fucking sunrise. How's everybody going to get home? So, yeah, let's have a look at this. If you pay for DAZN, like me, sorry. If you pay for DAZN like me, this is what you've paid for tonight. You've paid for Joe McGrail versus Francisco Rodriguez, Callum French versus Rustem Fakulin, Jordan Gill versus Alan Castillo, Paddy Lacey versus Vasiv Mamadov, Kahim Akakayo versus Noi Larios Jr., Peter McGrail versus Engel Gomez, Joe Cordina versus Miko Kachatarian, Robbie Davis Jr., the great Robbie Davis Jr. of Merseyside, versus Hank Lundy, and Katie Taylor versus Fariza Sharapova. So, big shout out to those people who are handing over a monthly fee, to the DAZN to serve up this. What did they say? Game changed. And you know what? Where's Maya Jama? Where is Maya Jama on the DAZN? I can't see her. Does anybody know? Is she on tonight? Where's Maya Jama at? Where's Maya Jama? There you go. Where's Maya Jama at? Dylan Long says, yeah, Ultra. What part of changing the game don't? Yeah, well, it's certainly fucking game changed. Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna start, but I'll tell you what. It sacked. No Maya Jama tonight. TMT says Maya the disappearing woman. Where's Maya Jama? Do you remember when DAZN? Do you remember when she signed for DAZN? Yeah, and they did that. See, let me tell you something. And I'm not gonna start, but remember when they had that open top bus thing? Let me show you. Do you remember when they did this? Let me get it up. DAZN UK. Let me put it in Google search. Look. DAZN UK. Do you remember when they launched DAZN on an open top bus? Let me tell you something about. I don't know much about marketing. Yeah, Shevin does a lot of work in marketing, right? But let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you the truth now. Yeah, and I'm going to get a cup of tea. 142 people in the chat. Let me put this in perspective. 142 people in the chat. There you go. Business, as Antonio Brown would say, business is booming. Now listen, yeah? This is my point on DAZN. When you're opening up business and promoting your business on an open top bus in the middle of London, that's when eyebrows start getting raised. That's all I'm saying. To me, that's when I started to raise eyebrows about DAZN. When you're promoting your channel on an open top bus in the middle of London. That straight away told me that I might need to call the Trading Standards Act. Game changed. It was what it was. Harley says about Maya Jama, she was Eddie's side piece and his wife has found out most likely. Harley, you're absolutely full of shit because Eddie Hearn is a family man and he would never have a side piece. Have you not seen Eddie Hearn's Twitter bio? He's strictly about family. There's no side pieces with Eddie Hearn. He's a family man. Strictly about family, Eddie is. Would never do something like that. Let's have a look here. I can't say ring that out. Shevin is disputing Maya Jama is 34 years old. Yes, she is. Why is she not 34, Chev? I'm trying to get a look at Laura Woods. If anybody can get me a picture of what Laura Woods looks like tonight, that would be absolutely fantastic. Laura Woods. Let's have a look here. Marco says, DAZN won't be in boxing and Eddie has burned all his bridges. I disagree with that. I think if DAZN buy BT Sport, they're going to be right up there. So we'll have to wait and see. Right, let's get going on the main event, guys, okay? Let's get going. Let's start off with your predictions for the fight, all right? Let's get going. Main event's now coming up. Katie Taylor's finished. We've got 150 people. Please, thank you very much for joining. 150 at this time of night is very good. 44 minutes into the show. I'm not joking. I've seen some channels running for 3 hours and they haven't got anywhere near these numbers. 152. Please hit the like button. If you really want to hear raw and uncut commentary, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You know what it is. What are you going for? Your final predictions, and then we're going to get into it. Conor Benn versus Chris Algieri. What are your final predictions? I don't think there's any way if this fight goes to the cards that Chris Algieri can get a decision. Period. But let me tell you something about Conor Benn, right? Let me tell you something about Conor Benn. And for those of you who like your betting, these are the current odds up on the screen right now. I don't know if you can see those. Those are the current live odds up on the screen right now. For those of you who like to bet, look at the services we provide for you on this show. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. Right, let's go through these. Oh my God, this is interesting. Loads of comments coming in. Oh my, look at him. Hold on, look at Ebony Bridges. 1 sec. What? Wow! Look at the state of Ebony Bridges. Shit. She has had a merry fucking Christmas, ain't she? Jesus Christ. Hold on. Oh, she looks good there. Oh my God. I'm going to get your photo in a minute. Laura Woods looking like fire. But Ebony Bridges, have you seen her? Wow, Ebony Bridges. I'm trying to get the picture. Wow, she has put the pounds on. She has put the pounds on. What did they eat in Australia for Christmas Day? Wowza. Damien says, oh dear. Listen, if you're not, listen, let me tell you right now. If you want to subscribe to DAZN just to see what Ebony Bridges looks like at the minute, you've got my permission. Wow, what a fall from grace. Shit me. What have they been putting in her mince pies? Right, let's go through your final predictions for Conor Benn, and then I'll give you some of my thoughts. Right, we've got loads of comments coming in. Let's get this going. Hit the like button. 150 plus in the chat. Hit the like button. We've been as high as 160 tonight. Let's have a look. Dave Lane says, Ben by robbery on the cards. Shadow Project says, Algieri late stoppage. But listen, didn't Eddie Hearn say that Chris Algieri couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding? Right, Ebony Bridges is back. I'm just going to get you this picture. 1 sec. Wow. Oh my God, I'll get it up in a minute. Harley says, Algieri will win on points if Ben can't knock him out. Here's Ebony Bridges. Let's get this up right now. Wow, wow, wow. While I read this out. Hold on. As Nate Dogg would say, hold up. Right, here you go. That is Ebony. That's actually a good picture, but that is what Ebony Bridges currently looks like on screen on DAZN. She has put some serious pounds on. No disrespect, but she has put some serious pounds on. I don't know, maybe she's moving up a weight. Conor Benn, Crazy D3 says, Conor Benn by unanimous decision. Roger Rabbit is saying there's going to be a robbery. Do you know what? Honestly, a few people in the media that I respect are saying that they feel like we could see a controversial decision if this fight goes to the cards. Katie Taylor's currently on the screen again after another classic Katie Taylor performance. No real excitement, no real power, no knockouts, no knockdowns. Just 10 rounds of Katie Taylor jumping in head first, headbutting the opponent, and then jumping out again, etc., etc. I'm not interested in Katie Taylor. I don't want to see Katie Taylor in the ring ever again until she gets in the ring with Amanda Serrano. I want to see it in the ring with somebody who can punch. I don't want to see it in the ring with any more of these people, and I want to see in the ring in 3-minute rounds. ABB's going with unanimous decision. Ben Ellis is saying, my money's on Conor Benn rounds 9, 10, and 11. Mark Stanton says, man, Bridges does look rough. Let me tell you, I'm going to light a candle for Ebony Bridges. Ebony, if you're listening, let me tell you, you are a very, very good looking woman. And I've got a lot of, well, I won't say a lot of respect, but you're a very, very good looking woman. And listen, Ebony, take it. If Ebony, take Christmas off. Have a break during Christmas for sure. Marco says, Conor Benn surely walks through Algieri unless it's 2014 again. Ben inside 3. Well, listen, I haven't seen Algieri's last 2 fights, but they're saying that he looked very good. MS22 says Ben UD with at least 4 knockdowns. I'm not sure about that. Kim Jong-un says Conor Benn late stoppage. George C says Ben wide UD. Quasim Din says Ben dubious stoppage inside 3 rounds. Londoner in the Stick says Conor Benn via Algieri dive. Well, I'm not making any accusations, but like I said, the interesting thing about this fight tonight is that, like I said, Chris Algieri is an employee of the. Now, I'm not saying that means he's going to throw the fight or anything. I would never accuse Chris Algieri of doing that. I'm sure he's in there to win. But I'm just saying, isn't it? Like, it's a very, very, very weird scenario, isn't it? Where you've got an employee fighting the fighter of a promotion. Do you know what I mean? Very, very strange scenario. But it is what it is. Conor Benn versus Chris Algieri is imminent. It'll be out next. Live commentary here Let's have a look. Jar Glory says Conor Benn round 4, 12-1. He likes that. Bump of K says, oh, by the way, 179 in the chat. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Hopefully, like I said before, our target tonight is to beat Spencer Fearon and Tunde Ajayi. That's our target tonight. So help me get over that line. Let's beat Spencer Fearon and let's beat Tunde Ajayi. Shevin, have a look at Spencer Fearon and Tunde Ajayi. Stamina percent. What numbers are they doing right now? Let's see if we can beat Spencer Fearon and Tunde Ajayi. Shout out to Spencer and Tunde. Smart Surf TV thinks Conor Benn will lose. Does anybody think Conor Benn will lose? TMT says Algieri serves Ben his sweet potatoes with parsley on top, round 10. What, you think Algieri will stop Ben in round 10? Oh my gosh. Let's have a look. A few comments coming in here on Ebony Bridges. Yeah, this is a great comment from Flynn Deaver. Flynn Deaver says, Laura Woods looking better than both Maya Jama and Ebony Bridges is the biggest upset of 2021. Absolutely. Laura Woods. Listen, you talk about female fighter of the year or female of the year. Laura Woods is the female of the year. Are you kidding me? This woman has single-handedly destroyed the career of Maya Jama, you know. She has destroyed the career of Maya Jama. And now she's on the way to destroying the career of Ebony Bridges. This woman is the proverbial underdog, isn't it? She is the underdog, isn't she? Every time you see her, she's not supposed to be the eye candy. But every time these women square up to her, she looks better than all of them. It's unbelievable, isn't it? She looks better than all of them every single time. Laura Woods is the number one. She's not my taste, but there you go. This is Laura Woods here. Look, let me get this up on the screen. Laura Woods is, without any question, the queen of the zone. Period. She's got an undefeated record right now. She has got an undefeated record. Nobody, no woman has ever stepped on the zone and looked better than Laura Woods right now. She's icing people left, right, and center. Shout out to Laura Woods, man. Let's go through some of these comments. Ash R says maybe she's not trying as hard as Maya and Ebony. She's on fire right now. MJ Cracker says Spencer Fearon and Tunde had 219 in their chat. Oh, that's a shame. So that's another loss. Spencer done beat me again, but we're hanging on in there, innit? Like I said, we're hanging on in there. Look at this, as Shevin said. Spencer and Tunde has 9K subscribers and 214 in the chat. We've got 1K subscribers and we've got 190. So there you go. Big shout out to Spencer and great job from Tunde Ajayi. Great job from Tunde Ajayi. Let's have a look at these things here. Marco says Conor Benn isn't losing this, but he's ducked everyone. This is what I wanted to ask in the run up to the fight. The fight will be on imminently. Right? Press 1 or press 2. Here's the question. I'm going to ask the question. Do you think, and I'm not saying Conor Benn's a ducker. Listen to what I'm saying and listen carefully now, okay? Listen to what I'm saying now, yeah? Do you think Conor Benn is a protected fighter? Listen to what I'm saying now, yeah? Is Conor Benn a protected fighter? Press 1 for yes or 2 for no. I'm not accusing Conor Benn of ducking. He's not afraid of it. He's a fighting man. Conor Benn will fight anyone, right? But do you think Conor Benn is a protected fighter? Press 1 for yes or press 2 for no. Joe's saying yes, Conor Benn is a protected fighter. Shadow Project Limited says yes, Conor Benn is a protected fighter. Let me just get this up on the screen here. Here we go. Let's have a quick look. Sorry, there's so many comments. ABB says yes. Marco, Shevin, Bump of K, Stephen Tockley, MJ Cracker, Joe Wall, Kim Jong-un. But look, we've got a few no's. Ghost says no. You don't think Conor Benn is a protected fighter. Ghost, I'm happy for you, but please explain why. I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but please, I would like to know your reasoning. Same for Dylan Long. Dylan Long says no. What's your reasoning behind that? Stephen Jones, TMT, Jack Shutter, Ash R, PG, Mattage Ehrlich, Dave Lane, Mark, everybody's saying George C, Yvonne Smith. Shout out to all the females in the chat. By the way, shout out to all my Jane Couch, who's been a big supporter of this channel from day one. And I know for a fact that Jane Couch just does tune in. I messaged her on Twitter a month or two ago. Big shout out to Jane Couch, that the real godmother of British boxing. And let me tell you something. Can you imagine if Jane Couch was around today? with today's level of science, with today's level of nutrition, with today's level of coaching, with the platform that's been given to female boxing. Can you imagine Jane Couch today in today's boxing? Fucking hell. There'd be fucking murders, wouldn't there? There'd be murders. Everybody's saying one. I want to get something here. Jane Couch, definitely a pioneer. Andy Craddock says about Conor Benn, hasn't fought anyone at simple level for titles. Ben Ellis is saying pray for Ebony Bridges. Ebony Bridges needs to take Christmas off. Let's have a look here. Just trying to get some explanations of the why. Right, Ghost says, who is he avoiding domestically? But Ghost, you've been a bit disingenuous there because they're saying Conor Benn's above domestic level. He hasn't avoided anybody, but I think he's protected. Him and Josh Kelly was in the same stable for how many years? And did Matcham really make the fight with Josh Kelly? No. They were happy to send Josh Kelly in against David Avanesian, but they wouldn't do the same with Conor Benn. So I do think he's protected, to be honest. I don't think he's avoiding anybody. But, you know, a fight with Josh Kelly, you know, I don't think they were keen on making... I think Josh Kelly would box his head off. They weren't keen on making that fight happen. So if you ask your question, who's avoided? He's avoided nobody. But I don't believe his team were keen to match him with Josh Kelly. And then talk about European level. Him and Avanesian in the same fucking stable with Avanesian calling him out. And Tony Sims turning around and saying that David Avanesian is not a fight that he's interested in. Kind of tells me, to be honest, Tony Sims coming out and saying that David Avanesian is not a fight that they are interested in kind of tells you all you need to know about if Conor Benn is protected or not, to be honest. Yvonne Smith says, big jump up for Ben. I think a tough fight, but a win for Conor Benn. Okay, we'll have to see. Ban on site for this man here. Ban on site. I ain't got time for that stuff tonight. Let's have a look here. Oh my God. Right. Some of these comments I can't read out for obvious reasons. Kim Jong-un says he ducked David Avanesian. Again, I think Conor Benn himself would fight anybody, but I don't think his team were very, very keen on David Avanesian. And let's get into the fight tonight. So this is what I want to say about Conor Benn, right? I want to talk technical about boxing because believe it or not, I know we've had a bit of a laugh and a joke and we've sort of looked at Ebony Bridges' lingerie pics and stuff like that, but we do know a fair bit about boxing, right? So let's talk a little bit about boxing. So Mike, I've got real question marks over what's happening in the gym at the minute with Conor Benn. Because the one thing about Conor Benn that I'm seeing now, right, in these fights is he's loading up on a lot of shots. He's telegraphing his shots and fighters are seeing the shots coming, right? And it really does make me question, what the fuck is going on in this gym with Tony Sims? Because, you know, it's starting to come to my attention, right? I'm starting to believe that a lot of these coaches, right? A lot of these British coaches, what are they actually teaching these fighters? You know, there's an old saying, isn't there? There's an old saying that's going around, right? That Ingram and James Ali Bashir, and let me just say, big shout out to Ingram. He's not on the show because he's not well. I wanted Ingram to come in and do the post-fight tonight, and he's not well. So that's why Ingram's not around. So let me say, light a candle for Ingram Jones, and hopefully we can get him back on the show before Christmas, yeah? But Conor Benn loads up on his shots an awful lot, you know. He really does load up on his shots an awful lot. He telegraphs his punches an awful lot. And, you know, like I said before, you know, there's a lack of a jab. There's a lack of a jab. Lack of a jab. And like I said before, and as I say that, if you look at DAZN right now, DAZN are doing their keys to victory for Conor Benn. And one of the keys to victory for DAZN was work off the jab. He doesn't jab. He don't jab. He just walks in and he loads up on his shots. And listen, I know for a fact that Tony Sims is very, very good at getting fighters fit. If you look at Conor Benn, he's in tremendous shape. He's always in great shape. He does his runs. He does his 10-mile runs and 5-mile runs every day. His father, Nigel, was one of the best trainers ever. If you look at, like, in terms of work rate in the gym, Nigel Benn, in terms of the amount of effort he put in the gym, how much he liked training, Nigel Benn was one of the best ever when it came to getting fit in the gym. And obviously Nigel got that from his army days. Yeah, Nigel had that discipline from his young days through to the army, through to boxing, right? So Conor Benn's got physical discipline, right? He's in great shape, but he loads up on his shots. There's a lack of a jab. He doesn't set up shots. He doesn't feint before he punches. These are like the basics of boxing, you know? The basics of boxing. Setting up behind the jab, faking a fighter out. Cutting off the ring as well. You know, you see him in a fight against Adrian Granados. following him around the ring, not cutting off the ring properly. For me, like I said, there are huge question marks about Conor Benn from a technical perspective. And I think that the Granados fight for me was a real rude awakening, because that guy Granados came in to survive, didn't he? Adrian Granados came in to survive. He wasn't really engaging so much with Ben. He came in to survive. And as Mark Stanton said, Granados had him punching air all night. Exactly. Conor Benn doesn't walk in behind the jab. He walks into range, loads up with a big left hook or big overhand right. These fighters see it coming. They see the telegraph and they roll under the shot, and that's it. And I'm telling you now, I want to know what the fuck is going on in that matchroom gym with Tony Sims, and what are they doing with him? Because, you know, it's only a matter of time before he gets found out, you know. If he continues to fight in this manner, if he continues to fight in a hot-headed manner. And listen, Nigel Benn was my idol growing up as a child. He was my idol. Nigel Benn is from the same island as me in the West Indies, I believe. Me and Nigel Benn are both from the same island in the West Indies. Nigel Benn was my fucking idol growing up, right? But how did Nigel Benn get undone in his key fights? Fights with Watson, fights with Eubank. Too rough and ragged, trying to be the Dark Destroyer, loading up on his shots. And against boxers, you knew how to ride out the early rounds. Against boxers, you knew how to take the steam out of him. Against boxers, you knew how to be cute and clever and, you know, pick him off, little 1-2s in between the wide shots. He got himself in trouble, didn't he? And it could be the same thing with Conor Benn in these fights. Let's have a look. Dylan Long says, no lie, you said cutting off the ring at the exact same time as Nigel Benn on being what you wanted to see. Okay, right. So apparently, according to Dylan Long, when I talked about Conor Benn needing to cut off the ring tonight, Nigel Benn said it on the broadcast at exactly the same time. Of course, because we're boxing people. I'm not a boxer, but I've been in gyms for fucking 7 years. So I've seen fighters. I've been around professional fighters training for fights. I've been around guys who've training for fucking Commonwealth title fights. So, you know, like I said before, we do know something about what we're talking about. Is what it is. Let's have a look. Bump of cases. I think McKinson beat. I'm not sure about now, but certainly a year or two ago, Michael McKinson was a really bad matchup for Conor Benn, and that's another fight that they didn't want to take. And again, look, McKinson and Benn are in the same stable, and there's no willingness to make that fight. And McKinson could give Benn real trouble. I mean, I'm not sure what's going to happen when McKinson gets hit, but McKinson is extremely slick. McKinson is the complete opposite of Benn. If you look at Michael McKinson, the complete opposite of Conor Benn. Very cute fighter, excellent footwork, understands angles, understands how to set his shots up. He prioritizes defense. He's a hit and not get hit fighter. If Michael McKinson could hold a Conor Benn shot, he'd give him nightmares. He'd give him absolutely nightmares. Oh, apparently we're now. Oh, we're nearly beating Tunde Ajayi and Spencer, but we're just off. So that according to the numbers, Spencer and Tunde are on 233. We are on 228, 229. I think we're just going to fall short. But listen, I'm so happy that we're there. And like I said, for a channel that's only got 1,000 subscribers to have 222 live in the chat, we're taking the piss. We are taking the piss. This is a movement. The engagement is off the charts. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. There's only 80 likes. What the fuck, man? 80 likes. Get the likes up, man. And let's go. Chris Algieri is currently walking. All right? He's about to make his entrance. Chris Algieri's waiting at the entranceway, about to go. We are about to get going with this fight. Listen, like I said before, those are my keys to watch out. Conor Benn, in my opinion, lacks the fundamental skills. He's now been in the gym with Tony Sims for how many fucking years? How many fucking years has he been in that gym? And he still doesn't know how to cut the ring off, establish a jab. I still don't see him fake before he throws a shot. Pick the shots. Last week, let me say this in closing. This fight's about to get started. What did we see with Anthony Yarde? What happened when Anthony Yarde got Lyndon Arthur on the ropes last week? Did Anthony Yarde pick his shots, yes or no? Do you understand? Now look at the difference when Conor Benn gets his opponents on the ropes. Conor Benn gets his opponents against the ropes. He loads up on big singles, big hooks, big overhand rights. Look at Anthony Yarde. Crisp shots, Anthony Yarde. You see Anthony Yarde taking angles around Lyndon Arthur's body. He slipped to his own right-hand side and he threw a double right-hand side. He then slipped over to the left-hand side and threw the left hook to the body. Then he threw the uppercut up the middle. Then he threw the overhand right. Then he went back to the body. Do you understand? And people slag off Anthony Yarde and say he's overrated, but he understands angles and bumping around and moving around fighters and picking his shots. Look at how Anthony Yarde placed his shots and set the shots up. That's the difference. And people slag off Tunde Ajayi and say he's the worst coach of all time, but they big up Tony Sims. Well, if you look at how Anthony Yarde fights and you look at how Conor Benn fights, who looks like the more skilled fighter to you? It is what it is, isn't it? So it is what it is. So like I said, I'm not hating on Conor Benn, yeah? This isn't about hating on Conor Benn, but it's about understanding that he does have a lot of flaws. A lot of flaws. So we will have to wait and see. Chris Algieri, employee of DAZN, has made his way to the... he's in the ring. Wearing a what? Is he wearing an Argentina football shirt? Or am I wrong about that? So Chris Algieri, employee... This fight, yeah, I call this fight employee versus fighter. Chris Algieri versus Conor Benn is about to happen. Again, I don't know anything about odds or betting odds, but here are the last minute odds as far as I'm aware. Let's get them up on the screen for those who still care. Why is this not working? Why are we not working on this? Hold on a minute. What? Where have the odds gone? Somebody tell me. Those are the only odds I can see on the screen at the minute. There you go. Conor Benn, the overwhelming favourite. Let's go. Kovalev said Yarde will be world champion. Let me tell you, before this fight gets going, is there anybody in here that believes Conor Benn will be a world champion? Press 1 if you believe Conor Benn will be a world champion. Press 1 if you believe Conor Benn will be a world champion. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think, I like Conor Benn as a person. He's a great person. I like Conor Benn as a person. I like him as an individual. I'm questioning what I'm seeing from him in a boxing ring. And to be honest, I really do believe that he would benefit from a changing trainer because I don't like some of the things I'm seeing there. Conor Benn making his way to the ring. None of you, we've got 223 in the chat. And we're nearly approaching 100 likes. Come on. 223 in the chat. Let's get to 100 likes. This is it. The main event. Conor Benn is coming out to the ring. He's going to fight Chris Algieri. He's the overwhelming favorite to win this fight. There's been a lot of talk about, is Conor Benn world class? They were saying he's ready for Sean Porter. Is he ready for the likes of a Boots Ennis, of a Virgil Ortiz, etc., etc. You need to remember, Conor Benn signed a 4-5 fight deal with DAZN. He is only a couple of fights away from fighting for some version of the world title, apparently. It is what it is. PG has called Chris Algieri employee of the month. Good ring music, Conor Benn. Let's have a listen to the quick music. Let's have a listen. What's he coming out to?
Even in victory, they take a lot of...
He's coming out to Dangerous yet again, trying to pretend he's his father. Ben S says Ben won't win a legit world title, but he could get a vacant belt. I think that's a very, very reasonable comment. I do think that's what it's going to be for Conor Benn. No disrespect, but I think welterweight has traditionally been the strongest division in world boxing, hasn't it? For the last fucking 20, 30 years or something, welterweight has been the strongest division in boxing, right? And it's still one of the strongest divisions today. So it is what it is. Let's have a look at the tail of the tape there. What the fuck's... Why is this screen in? Here we go. There's a Matchroom Boxing Twitter. There we go. Let's have a look here. That's not Barrington Levy at all. That's Conroy. That's Conroy. Dangerous is Conroy someone. Who's that tune? Who sung the tune Dangerous? Dangerous! I am dangerous. That's Conroy someone. Ain't no Barrington Levy. Mark Stanton said, Eddie said he's still 3 fights away from a world title. Well, only 3 fights. It is what it is. Tom Thumb says, I love this channel. Respect to his honesty and knowledge. You'll probably be hating me in everybody who says how good this channel is, right? Sooner or later, they end up sending me death threats. So I expect to see you, Tom Thumb, in my inbox calling for my mother to get killed by people very, very soon. Andy Craddock says, Ben is a money grab. He's a reasonable fighter for sure. It's not Barrington Levy who sung Dangerous, man. Dangerous was never sung by Barrington Levy. I'll Google it now. Hold on. I'll Google it. Just YouTube that song. Let me see quickly. Dangerous Reggae. Who sung that tune? Quickly, hold on. Conroy Smith. That tune was sung... No, it was sung by Conroy Smith, brother. There you go. I'm not going to play it right now, but there you go. It was sung by Conroy Smith. Link in the description box. Link in the description box. That tune was sung by Conroy Smith, never by Barrington Levy. And they say I'm not a black dude. Big up yourself. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Blah 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 blah. A couple of guys are ringing me in the chat, telling me how great I am. Like I said before, the same guys are ringing me in the chat, telling me how great I am. We'll be sending over death threats shortly. Conor Benn and Chris Algieri are in the ring. Roger Rabbit says, I think Conor should fight Ugas if he wins. Does anybody here press 1 if you give Conor Benn any fucking chance against Yarde and Ugas? Volts UK says you had to Google it. Yeah, but I knew his first name. I had to Google it to know his second name. I knew that the whole time. Does anybody here give Conor Benn a hope in hell against Yarde and Ugas? Are you mad? What? Conor Benn versus Yarde and Ugas. Why would you do that fight? Do you know how slick Ugas is one of the slickest fighters in boxing? Why would you put a Tony Sims fighter against one of the slickest Cuban boxers in the game? Why would you do that? Look. 2 no, 0 no, 2 no. MJ Cracker says we're down by 7. Spencer Fearon and Tunde Ajayi are 7 live viewers ahead of us. Can we take them out? Unlikely, but it is what it is. Marco says Ugas would handle Benn easy. Londoner says Ugas points over Conor Benn, etc., etc. Eventual Visitor says, fuck, I thought this was a live stream. It is a live stream, but we're not broadcasting it live, brother. We're not broadcasting it live. It is what it is, but it's live commentary. Dave Kiernan says, did Katie Taylor win? Unfortunately, yes, she did, but it was yet another ball fest. Katie Snore Taylor. This is what every time Katie Taylor fights, this is what we do. Shh. Boring as fuck. Once you've seen one Katie Taylor fight, you have seen them all. Right, we're just waiting. I hope they're not doing national anthems for this fight. Conor Benn has some form of WBA world title. For some reason, have you ever seen any fighter not have some version of the WBA world title? No is the answer. And Conor Benn is no exception. What is he? What version of the WBA championship does he hold this time? It seems like every flipping fighter has got some version of the WBA world title. Let's get to this quickly. Hold on a minute. Let's get some new graphics on the screen. This fight is ready to go. If those of you who want to see the tail of the tape, you will notice I've got that in the corner. Let me get this up very, very quickly. Look at the top right-hand corner. There's the tail of the tape there. Look, there you go. Look at that. No expenses spared in the production quality of this show. It's a 10-rounder. I didn't even know that. So that shows how much I know about boxing. We are ready to go, and we go. Conor Benn just jumped straight into the middle with Algieri. So Conor Benn continuing the theme of no jab. Just jumped straight into the center with Chris Algieri. But he is cutting Chris Algieri off. He's backing him up into the ropes very, very early. And you can see what Conor Benn's looking to throw is the overhand right. So if I'm Chris Algieri, I'm looking for the overhand right from Conor Benn. Because the way Conor Benn shaped up when Chris Algieri hits the ropes is the overhand right. It looks like the shot. And there, Conor Benn throws an overhand right into a left hook. And Chris Algieri is immediately complaining. He's saying that Conor Benn hit him in the neck with the overhand right. But that's the shot for me to look out for with Chris Algieri early on, yeah? When your back touches the ropes, put a dip in your knees, put a bend in your knees, because it looks like Conor Benn's going to throw the overhand right. As Conor Benn, Conor Benn threw a long right hand, missed it. Chris Algieri countered him there with a left right hook and caught him right at the top of the head. But Conor Benn's landed some good punch on the inside. But what I'm looking at here is, now this is interesting. So 2 minutes to go in round 1. Chris Algieri needs to let that jab hand go now and stop letting Conor Benn walk in. That's the thing, Chris Algieri. Let that jab go. Let that jab hand go. Doesn't have to be a stiff jab, but just start getting that jab hand out. Start measuring distance and stop Conor walking in. Because you can see now, Conor Benn's walking in. There's no jab from Conor Benn. There's no jab in his first minute or so from Conor Benn. Good jab to the body there from Conor Benn, but he's not jabbing his way in, is he? He just walks in, he's going to throw. Conor Benn's going to look to throw that overhand right. That's the shot he's going to look to throw. And he throws another overhand right, and Algieri slips it. With Algieri, right, what the counter shot you should be looking at, when Conor Benn throws that overhand right, return fire with the left hook if you're Chris Algieri. So anytime your back hits the ropes and you see Conor Benn go for the overhand right, think about throwing left hooks. Good left hook there from Chris Algieri. Very, very even round. Good overhand right from Conor Benn. That looked to have a little bit of an effect there. So that's probably the best punch of the fight. Partially blocked, but it was a good overhand right from Conor Benn. You know, if Chris Algieri can start establishing that jab like he's threatening to do, this is going to be an interesting fight. But so far, I'd give it to Conor Benn. He is jabbing to the body a little bit. And he's jabbing to the body, obviously, because he wants to set up the overhand right. That's like one of the most basic setups in boxing, obviously, yeah? You jab to the body, get them to bring their... Oh, it was a good left hook from Algieri up close. That was a nice little left hook from Algieri. Conor Benn tried to throw the short right hand. Algieri rolled it and returned fire with a left hook. But Algieri can do something in this fight if he pumps out his jab and stops Conor walking into distance. But you see there from Conor Benn, not a lot of jabbing from Conor Benn upstairs in a minute. Walking in and looking to load up. Like I said before, it's the overhand right at the minute that he's looking to throw. He's looking to throw off the jab to the body. If you're Chris Algieri, you want to jab, 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 stop him walking in and throw the left hook counter. Left hook's a very good double jab from Algieri, but he's getting backed up to the ropes. That's it, and he's circled off. Like I said, Algieri, when your back hits the ropes, throw that left hook because Conor Benn's loading up on shots. I'll go through some of your comments at the minute. Flynn Deba says Conor Benn is not only technically poor, but he's really small for 147 pounds. Don't understand why he doesn't fight at 140. 263 people down here in the chat. What do you think of my commentary? I think that was a very, very good first round from me. What do you think about that first round from Conor Benn? Joshua Thompson, anybody asking for streams normally gets banned. Because you've got an incredibly good physique and you're in better shape than me, I will let you off this once. But nobody ask for streams or you'll get immediately banned. Because, you know, it is what it is. Conor Benn in the first round, what do you think? Who did you have winning that first round? Shevon's got the first round to Conor Benn. I probably think it goes to Conor Benn, but if Chris Algieri can get that jab out a bit more and stop Benn just walking into distance, this could be an interesting fight from Algieri. Benn, though, I have to say, he's loading up. Roger Rabbit says, what do you guys think, yes or no? For me, Conor Benn loading up a lot on the shots, clearly looking for the overhand right. And like I said before, you know, his setups are very, very basic setups. He's trying to jab to the body and he's trying to go for the overhand right. Round two, let's go. So Chris Algieri, can he establish the jab in this fight? If I was Chris Algieri's coach, he looks like he's got the height advantage. Not sure about the reach, but if I was Chris Algieri's coach, I'd be telling him just to let that jab go, pop it out. No power on it, but just let that jab hand go and make Conor think twice about getting to the inside. Because the more you pump the jab out, the more Conor's going to load up to get to the inside. The more distance you show a fighter like Conor Benn, the more he's just going to load up because he doesn't know how to be cute and sort of creep his way into distance. That's the same about Conor Benn. Conor Benn doesn't know how to just work his way into distance with clever footwork. If you show him distance, he's going to reach in and fall short. Good double left hook on the inside from Chris Algieri. This has been a Conor Benn round so far. Good right hook to the body from Conor Benn. But that left hook from Chris Algieri, he's not missing every time he throws that left hook. Anytime he throws that left hook against Conor Benn, he's not missing at all. But again, he's not establishing the jab. Let's see what Conor Benn's doing. Conor Benn throws a jab for a change. Let's see how Conor Benn works his way in. You look at Conor Benn, plenty of head movement as he tries to push Chris Algieri to the ropes. Plenty of head movement from Conor Benn feinting as he tries to move forward. But again, from Conor Benn, there's no variation on the speeds of the jab, is there? You don't see him throw a few light jabs and then work off it. You don't see him vary the speed or the power of the jabs. Conor Benn, in my opinion, very much a one-pace fighter. But like I said before, you know, we're talking about Conor Benn, is he world level? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. We're talking about, is Conor Benn a world level fighter? 276 in the chat. Round two. I'm giving this round to Conor Benn so far. I think he's landed the more telling shots. But like I said before, Chris Algieri, like I said, there seems to be a game plan here from Chris Algieri. And the game plan seems to be let Conor Benn steam out. That was a good jab, right hand, left hook from Conor Benn. A lot of it was blocked, but it was good. But that right hook around the guard, a nice little right hook from Conor Benn. It did go around the guard and it hit Algieri clean. So good shots there from Conor Benn. Let's have a look. Go for some comments in a minute. No jab. What do you think about Algieri? Algieri's not throwing the jab. But I don't know if this is a deliberate game plan from Algieri where he's trying to get Conor Benn to blow himself out. Because Algieri doesn't seem to be extending himself at all. It seems like he's trying to pace himself for the later rounds. That's what it seems like to me. But Conor Benn's been landing some very, very good, decent shots early on. It does seem like when he lands, Algieri feels the power. There's no question about that. So we'll have to wait and see. 38 seconds left. 30 seconds left in round two. I've got Conor Benn on the verge of being two rounds to one up. Not super impressive performance. Oh, that was an overhand right. That sent him rolling. I do think that was a clash of feet. They're going to count that as a knockdown. But that knockdown wasn't as bad as it looked. It was more a clash of feet than anything, but it was off a punch, so it was what it was. So Conor Benn gets the knockdown in round 2. That was a good return left hook, though, from Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri does not miss with the left hook. Anytime he throws the left hook against Conor Benn, he doesn't miss. But yeah, we'll have to see. Listen, it was what it was. I do think that was a knockdown because, like I said, it came off a punch, but it was more so a clash of feet there. I don't think Chris Algieri was seriously hurt. He got up in the count of 3, and the referee carried on. So it was what it was. At the minute, I've got Conor Benn 2-0 up. But like I said, at this moment in time, look, what would you mark Conor Benn? Let's get what would you mark Conor Benn out of 10 for this performance so far? What would you say? Conor Benn out of 10 so far, based on what you've seen tonight. Give us some thoughts quickly about what you see about Conor Benn. I'm just having a look at this knockdown again. It didn't hit him actually. It didn't hit him at all. That shouldn't have been a knockdown to me. The punch didn't land clean. The ref wasn't really able to see it, but the punch didn't land clean at all. Conor Benn's forearm hit Chris Algieri around the back of the neck, and that momentum, along with a clash of feet, is what caused the knockdown. So that wasn't really a knockdown, but it was what it was. All right, here we go. Apparently, I'm 30 seconds behind. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. You guys are giving Conor Benn 5, 6, and 7s out of 10 for the performance. Round 3 of Benn versus Algieri. It's already started. Let's just see. Chris Algieri's now pumping up. He needs to pump out that jab. Because if Conor Benn is shown distance, what will happen is this. If Chris Algieri can get the jab hand out more, Conor Benn will lunge in, falling short, and then Chris Algieri can work the left hook off the jab. That's the key shot for Algieri, the left hook. Every time he's thrown the left hook tonight against Conor Benn, he's landed it. And the reason why he's landed them left hookers against Conor Benn is because Conor Benn obviously doesn't bring his hands back to his chin after he finishes punching. But it's a good round from Conor Benn so far. Good round from Conor Benn. He's landing some couple of nice shots, couple of nice jabs to the body. And it looks like Algieri's feeling the shots. Good left hook to the body from Conor Benn. Good right hook to the body from Conor Benn. So I have to say from Conor Benn that he seems to have got into a much, much better rhythm. Still, you know, I'm seeing things that I don't like, but he's into a much better rhythm in this round. You know, a much better rhythm, Conor Benn. And that's because, like I said, good right hand from Conor Benn, right through the guard. Good right hand, left hook from Conor Benn. Good left hook. This fight looks like, listen, every time Benn lands clean, Algieri can feel the power. Excellent head movement from Conor Benn up close. You got to give Conor Benn credit. Excellent head movement up close. But the problem is, like I said, Algieri's letting him in the pocket. And like I said, where's the jab from Algieri? Don't let Conor Benn walk into the pocket. Jab him to the chest, jab him to the body, feint the jab. Stop him just walking in, because Conor Benn's walking into the pocket. He's slipping shots with good head movement, and then he's loading up on big shots. If you get Conor Benn out of the pocket and show him the good right hand, there you go. Algieri showed Benn a bit of distance. Conor Benn lunged in, missed his timing, and Algieri countered him with the right hand. All he's got to do is show him distance, but so far it's been a much better round from Conor Benn. He looks well on the way to being 3-0 up in this fight. Let's have a look here. And like I said, Conor Benn, you know, I have to say, when he's in the pocket, when he's in range and he doesn't have to work himself into range, he looks a decent fighter. Conor Benn's problems come when you show him distance. But Chris Algieri can't keep him off so far. So it is what it is. Oh, we've got 40 seconds left to go in round 3 here. I've got Conor Benn up in this fight. Chris Algieri, like I said, can really, really feel the power. Every time Conor Benn lands clean, it looks like Chris Algieri's feeling the power. At this minute in time, I'll be looking at a late stoppage for Conor Benn. That if Conor Benn can continue this pace, I'll be saying we're looking at a late stoppage for Conor Benn. Because Chris Algieri, like I said, is really starting to get a little bit negative. You know, really, really, it almost looks like, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it almost looks like he's kind of walking into survival mode here. If that makes sense, you know, on the back foot, but not offering much in the way of offense to me. It looks like he's felt the power from Conor Benn. So it's going to be now a question of, can Chris Algieri survive the fight? And can Conor Benn pick his shots? Because to get guys like this out of there, you've got to pick your shots. To be fair to Conor Benn, when he's been up close, he's picked out some nice left hooks and right hooks to the body. So that was Conor Benn's best round so far. And probably one of the better rounds I've seen from Conor Benn recently, to be honest, compared to how he fought in the Adrian Granados fight. Let me see what Tony Sims is saying. I can't hear because some muppet on the comment section is talking over him. Right. Well, how have you guys got it so far? Joe says, my Ben round 5 to 8 prediction looks okay if Algieri doesn't dash for the next few. It is looking like this is going to be a late stoppage. Mark Stanton says, does look like Algieri has gone into his shell. Dave Lane says the left hand over the top is there all night for Algieri. Left hook is there all night for Algieri. Anything left-handed, because Conor Benn doesn't bring his right hand back to his chin, but Algieri doesn't look great in the corner. That's the bottom line. He does not look great in the corner. It looks like when the shots have been landed by Conor Benn, he's feeling the shots. And to be fair, Conor's targeted his body very, very well. 300 in the chat. Please hit the like button. Into round 4. Into round 4. Conor Benn on the front foot again. Let's have a look. Let's see how Conor Benn sets up his attacks. To be fair to Conor, he is throwing feints in his fight. So he's shutting Chris Algieri down and he's baiting. He's baiting into the body and he's baiting. And he's also, got that little head movement going as well. So fair play to Conor. And he even gives me a double jab. So fair play to Conor Benn. He's looked a lot better in the last 2 rounds. He's walking into the pocket, but he's throwing feints. Good double jab. Right hand from Conor Benn gets right through the middle. According to the zone, Conor Benn's landed 51% of his punches tonight. So very, very economical. And it looks like Conor Benn's getting better and better as this fight goes on. Listen, you always got to give a guy credit where credit's due. Conor Benn in the pocket looks to be a very, very decent fighter. Algieri there tried to throw a few jabs, but Conor Benn slipped, and then carried on with his offense. So you've got to give Conor Benn credit because, like I said before, when he does get into the pocket from that mid to short range, he actually looks quite handy against Algieri. Algieri looks like he offers no offensive threat to Conor Benn whatsoever. Anytime he lands clean on Conor Benn, Conor doesn't really seem to feel the power. And you can see the complete opposite when Conor Benn lands on him. So, like I said before, I think, like I said, we are looking at some kind of stoppage here, but we'll have to wait and see. Conor's got Algieri pinned against the ropes here. It's going to be the overhand right that comes. He throws it to the body. That was a good shot there by Conor. That was a nice little adjustment from Conor Benn there. You see that? Conor Benn had Algieri pinned against the ropes. Rather than just throwing the big overhand right to the head, where Algieri could have slipped it and got out, he actually threw a long right hook to the body. The head moves, but the body doesn't. That was a nice little move there from Conor Benn. I like to see more of that. When you get Algieri backed up to the ropes, instead of just headhunting and throwing them overhands to the head, there you go. Conor Benn with another little right hook to the body. Definitely an improved performance from Conor Benn over the Granados fight. No question about it. Definitely an improvement from Conor Benn. Algieri starting to lose his shape there. Algieri went for the 1-2 and he fell short. Conor Benn just took a step back, made him fall short, and then Conor Benn just walked his way straight back into the pocket again. But you see, Conor Benn's best work is coming in that pocket. It's coming in that 3/4 range. There's a lovely little slip there from Conor Benn. Algieri tried to double up on the jab in the mid-range. Conor Benn just slipped to his own left-hand side and threw a left hook right to the center of the body. That was a lovely little shot from Conor Benn. He's operating very nicely from that. Now, what Algieri should do, but he's very, very feather-fisted. But what I would say for Algieri now is instead of going for Conor Benn's head, start throwing that jab, doubling the jab to the body and to the chest as well. So don't just headhunt Conor Benn with jabs to the body, because you see Conor's got to a rhythm. You can see Conor's got into a rhythm in that 3/4 range. Very, very good at now slipping that jab, and then he's working hooks off his slips, So what I want to see, oh, what a shot! Overhand right from Conor Benn, and that is it. There's no way that can continue. What a finish from Conor Benn. Hey, that was a good performance, and what a finish from Conor Benn. The overhand right, hey, we did call that shot, didn't we? Hey, listen, we did call that shot all night, didn't we? There you go. If you listen to tonight's commentary, we did say every time Conor Benn had him against the ropes, it was the overhand right that was coming. And the overhand right came. And there it was. What a knockout from Conor Benn. Listen, I'm not a big fan of the guy as a boxer. But listen, you have to say, you can't really question that performance. The first 2 rounds for me were a bit iffy. But the last 2-3 rounds were very good. That was some of the best Conor Benn I've seen in a long time, I have to say. And listen, with that performance, you have to say, look, you have to give him credit. Look, Conor Benn has gone in there in the ring tonight, and he's done absolutely everything he could have done. Like, he couldn't have done really much more, could he? He couldn't have done much more, People like me criticize Conor Benn for the opponent. He went in there tonight and he got the opponent out of there, and he got him out of there in great fashion. And he boxed well up to the knockout as well, to be honest. He boxed well and he was setting up his shots a lot better. Guys, give me your reaction now. Give me your reaction in the comment section. What are your immediate thoughts? That was a big knockout there. Big knockout from Conor Benn. Listen, he boxed very, very well up to the knockout. He set up his shots very, very well. I've been correct. I'm just watching the knockout now. So it's Conor Benn against the... He's been looking for the overhand right all night long. Let's have a look at how he sets it up. It was more of a straight right hand. My bad. It was more of a straight right than an overhand right, to be fair. It was more of a straight right. Let's see how he sets it up. I think he faked to the body. Jab, right hand. Just a straight jab, right hand. Slightly, jab, slight slip to the left, and a right hand over the top. Listen, that was a brutal knockout. Great knockout. There you go. Great right hand there from Conor Benn. To be honest, like I said, you can see it every single time from Conor Benn. When he got Algieri backed up against the ropes, it was always that overhand right hand he was looking for, and he set it up quite nicely there. Little jab, little stick to the left, and he threw that right hand over the top. Daryl says, Benn boxed very well. His slipping of shots has improved massively. He is also more patient. Looks good to me. If anybody wants to call in, Daryl, if you want to call in, give your thoughts, you're welcome. If you ask for the link, Daryl, I will give you the link. If anybody wants to come on and talk about Conor Benn's performance tonight, and we know who you are, you can call in. It's not a problem. I have to be honest and say, I thought the performance tonight was very, very good from Conor Benn. Conor Benn was at round 4-5, brutally knocks out Chris Algieri, and it was what it was. It was you can't criticize the performance. To be honest, you can't criticize the performance, right? Let's have a look here. Let's have a look at some comments. My name is Jeff says Nigel Benn's son did okay. He did very, very good. Azima1 says now Hearn can say that Conor Benn flattened the next world champion. It is what it is. Listen, Conor Benn lived up to the hype tonight. I still don't believe he's as good as they say he is, but Conor Benn lived up to the hype tonight. In terms of, look, Algieri's old, it is what it is, but he got him out of there, and he got him out of there in great fashion. So you gotta give him some real credit for that. You've got to give him some real credit. Like I said before, maybe now they can get him in the ring with David Avenesian or somebody like that. Team Grove says very, very good performance, but a 37-year-old Algieri at 147. We all know Algieri was old, but I'm going to give Conor Benn some credit because I thought the performance was very, very good performance. Let's have a look. Let me just quickly change the title of the stream. 240 in the chat. Hold on. Let me just change the title of the stream. There you go. It is what it is. Devastating. Conor Benn. Absolutely devastating KO of Chris Algieri. Devastating KO. Let's change the title of the stream. Devastating. Absolutely devastating KO. We're just sorting out the stream there. Eddie Hearn will be very, very happy with that performance. I mean, look, like I said before, it is what it is. Change the title. 241 in the chat. Please hit the like button. If you've just joined us, Conor Benn, absolutely destructive there. Absolutely destructive. I'm not going to show you the knockout because I'll get done for copyright, but Conor Benn, absolutely vicious KO of Chris Algieri. There you can see Charlie Sims in the corner there. Jesus Christ. Right, let's have a look. Joe Wall says, Matcham are just blowing smoke up his ass, putting him in the ring with fighters like this. Listen, I want to hear the Conor Benn post-fight interview. I'd imagine it's going to be he's going to be calling people out who have doubted him. Dabian says, Conor Benn coming to a DAZN pay-per-view near you. Jack says, good performance. Algieri been more of a chef than a boxer. He says Algieri's been more of a chef than a boxer in the last few years. But yeah, look, you have to say there was a noticeable improvement from Conor Benn tonight in terms of how he set his shots up. To be fair, like I said, it does look like him and his team have looked back at the Granados fight and they've made adjustments. Like I said before, defensively a lot better. You know, very, very slick at the mid-range there. Nice little slips. I'm not a fan of that style from Conor Benn. You know, I like to see fighters slip with their hands to their head. I like to see fighters slip, keep their hands to their chin. You know, Conor Benn slips, he drops his hands to his waist. I always think that's very, very dangerous. But look, it is what it is. Colin Elliott says, very, very good performance. The volume of haters is unbelievable. Look, you've Chris Algieri is Chris Algieri. He's a 37-year-old, you know, who's a part-time commentator, part-time chef. But look, Conor Benn got him out of there and got him out of there in tremendous fashion. So you have to give him credit. A few of you mentioning performance enhancing drugs in the chat. If you'd like to stop doing that, that would be fantastic. Hardeep Singh says Conor Benn is still a very, very good prospect and not a contender yet. Azim Awan says, please get him in with David Avenesian. That ain't ever happening. Can I ask you a question? Has the performance from Conor Benn changed your mind about how good you think he is? Do you think, if you think Conor Benn is ready for a fight with David Avanesian, press 1. And who would you like to see Conor Benn fight next? Let me get this up here. Hold on. Let me get this up on a question. Conor Benn wins devastating KO. Who would you like to see him fight next? Who would you like? Give me some names. Who would you like to see him fight next? That's the question. Who would you like to see Conor Benn fight next? Is he ready for a fight with Avanesian? Who do you think wins that fight? Do you now think with that performance that Conor Benn has shown that he's levels above Josh Kelly? What do you think? Do you think with that performance that Conor Benn has shown that he's levels above Josh Kelly? JG says, let's not get carried away. Let me just get up the live tweet. Let me see what Twitter's saying as well. But let me just get this up. I want to see what Twitter's saying about Conor Benn's performance. Let's get this up. I don't want to show anything. Right. Well, this is the live commentary from Twitter. So let's have a see. Right. JG says, let's not get carried away. Nigel Benn would spark out Algieri at this point. Mark Stanton says, will he get another shot at an American before Eddie Hearn falls out with them all? Colin Kidnick says, Algieri has passed it. Andy Craddock says this fight was Conor versus The Walking Dead. So a few of you are continuing to hate on Conor Benn. As you can see, I have given Conor Benn credit for the performance tonight. Very few of you can't let it go. Colin Kidnick says, put Benn in with a puncher. We do need to see Conor Benn in with a puncher. We do need to see him in there with somebody who can't hurt him back. We really do need to see someone who can really make him think twice, because look, Algieri, as Eddie Hearn said, and this is all I'll say. Eddie Hearn in a post-fight interview is going to try and convince us all that Conor Benn is a killer. But remember, Eddie Hearn told us years ago, Chris Algieri couldn't take the skin off a rice pudding. Am I right or am I wrong, right? Am I right or am I wrong? But there you go. There you go. Let's have a look here. Azim Awan, Eddie Hearn will now try to sell this guy who, let's face it, is still learning. Let's have a look here. Ben S says, it's a shame Ben isn't on Sky, where millions of people could watch him fight instead of on an app. Because Conor Benn in a post-fight interview, I'm not sure. Let me just see what he's saying quickly. Hold on.
Conor, fantastic performance.
It's Addy doing the interview.
They said things like Algieri, former world champion, is going to bring the experience, might show you a few different looks, right? You silenced all of those doubters, didn't you? Fantastic knockout.
Well, you silenced all them doubters. Watch the next fight. It's going to be a test.
They are bringing tests. Eddie's bringing.
There you go. Conor Benn with the usual, I'm proving all the doubters. That's Conor Benn's favourite line, isn't it? He likes to talk about the doubters. Apparently, he's proving the doubters wrong. Dave Lane says, brilliant performance from the person, the hair transplant on Conor Hare's head. CRB says, Shevin says, Chris Algieri is going to end up on Gordon Ramsay's new show. Obviously, Chris Algieri is a part-time chef. Oh my God, there's so many comments. Guys, hit the like button. We've still got 250 people in the chat. 251 in the chat. How many have they got over at Stamina for Sale? Have we got anywhere near them yet, or are they still beating us? Let's go through here. Let's have a look here. Go through some comments very, very quickly. Joe says, I think as good as Ben looked, Algieri caught him plenty of times and it did fuck all to Ben. Algieri has zero power. Avanesian would keep him honest and stop him. Avanesian is a completely different fight to Conor Benn. Look, we all know that. Avanesian is a completely different fight to Conor Benn. Chris Burns says Avanesian smokes him. Just give me a name. Guys, who wins right now? If they were to fight next week, who wins? Conor Benn or David Avanesian? Who would win if they were to fight right now? Abdul, if you want the link is there for you, Abdul. So if you want the link, let me know. We'll get you on. Abdul says about Conor Benn, he acts like a killer, but he's not. And that's the most frustrating thing. Mike Costello was terrible in the commentary. Norzeb thinks Avanesian next. Really? You think he's going to take Avanesian next? Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look. Matt Snow says, Ultra, I'm sure your own intro had Hearn saying he couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding. That is true. Eddie Hearn said that Chris Algieri could not knock the skin off a rice pudding. TMT is calling Ade a sellout. He says Ade is a sellout. Ade is a friend of the show. I don't think Ade is a sellout. Ade is a friend of the show. Good to see Ade doing very, very well on DAZN. I just hope for Ade's sake here that DAZN gets some football on very, very soon. Otherwise, it is what it is. Tom Clark is saying Conor Benn versus Maurice Hooker. Maurice Hooker's not even a welterweight, though, is he? He's 140. I tell you what, it'd be a good fight, though, because Maurice Hooker has a very, very good jab. That would actually be a very, very good fight to watch, you know. Conor Benn versus Maurice Hooker. That's a very, very good bit of matchmaking. Is that the fight that's happening next? Let me know. Dave Lane saying Mikey Garcia next. Jesus Christ almighty. Andy Craddock says, big up, man. Very good job. What do you think about my commentary? I thought my commentary was actually pretty accurate, to be honest. I think my commentary tonight was one of my better commentaries. I thought, you know, I was pretty accurate in bringing to you the kind of shots that Conor Benn was looking for. And we called it right in the end, as we usually do. Let's have a look. Shevin saying Avanesian would beat him bad. Norzeb is saying I like Hooker next to be. I think Hooker would be great. Crazy D3 is right. Avanesian obviously fighting Virgil Ortiz in a WBC eliminator. Andy Line is saying Avanesian wins would beat Conor Benn. Joe Wall thinks Avanesian would beat Conor Benn. Eddie Hearn's banging on. I don't want to put Eddie Hearn on because I don't want to get off copyright, but Crazy D3 says Avanesian. Shadow Project says Avanesian. Boxing Hype says Avanesian. GB Guthrie says about Conor Benn, he beat up Chef Algieri. Unbelievable. That's what he called him, Chef Algieri. Jesus Christ, you lot are savage, man. Jesus. GB Guthrie is calling Chris Algieri Chef Algieri. Conor Benn, I thought his performance was excellent tonight. If you're asking me, much, much improved. Let's have a look here. Dylan Long is saying Eddie is backpedaling on the broadcast, saying Conor wants the likes of Broner. Ed saying we need to build him. Rory Tabori says, I think Ben can take Avanesian. We'll have to wait and see. Yes, there's some very, very interesting things. So let's do a recap. So look, I just thought, like I said, I thought Conor Benn's performance tonight was very, very good performance. I wasn't impressed with the first couple of rounds, but as the rounds went on, I thought the performance got better and better. For me, like I said, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys about Conor Benn, right? And we'll get your final thoughts and then, you know, it is what it is. But to give you my honest thoughts on Conor Benn's performance tonight, I thought, like I said, he's clearly shown that he's learned things from the last fight. You know, we always hear he's learning. He's a learning fighter. He's learning on the job. I honestly thought the impression I got from the way Conor Benn boxed tonight is that he had watched the tape back and that he has learned a few things. I would say this, look, Chris Algieri's a 37-year-old, right? He's never really a true 147-pound fighter, all right? You could see the difference every time Conor Benn landed on him. You could see from the first round that he was very, very uncomfortable dealing with the power, yeah? And I just feel, like I said, this fight was about styles. And I think somebody mentioned Conor Benn versus Maurice Hooker. I actually think that would be a very, very interesting fight to actually really and truly gauge where Conor Benn is in this welterweight mix, because I believe that Conor Benn's going to get into trouble when he gets into somebody who's got a very, very good jab and very, very good feet. Now, Chris Algieri wasn't able to establish any kind of jab tonight whatsoever. And Conor Benn was allowed to just literally stroll into the mid-range, yeah, and get his shots off. And the difference is, when Conor Benn steps up a level, he will not be able to just walk in straight lines into the mid-range with a few slips and get his hooks off. Every time he tries to walk into the mid-range, he's going to get his head jabbed off. And that's going to be the difference. And the shots that are going to be coming his way are going to be hurtful shots. And that's the difference. You guys are saying he's called out Yarde Ugas. I don't know why he's called out Ugas for the WBA. But he's brave to do that. Are they going to do that fight? What do you guys think? Conor Benn calls out Yarde Ugas. Let me change that, yeah? Hold on. What's up? Calls out Ugas. Bloody hell. Let me see that and put that in the thing. He calls out Ugas. Wow. Conor Benn calling out Yarde Ugas. Do you know what I call that? Do you know what I think about when Conor Benn calls out Yarde Ugas? This is the first thing that comes to my mind. When I hear that Conor Benn is calling off Yarde Ugas after that performance against Chris Algieri. This is what I think of. Have you ever seen this film before? Death Warrant with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's the first thing that came into my head when I thought Conor Benn calling out Yarde Ugas. The first thing I thought about was this. Van Damme, death warrant. Conor Benn's got a fucking death warrant if he wants to get him with Ugas. That's a really bad matchup for him. Now, I'd be very, very surprised if Eddie Hearn was willing to do that fight. I'd be very, very surprised if Eddie Hearn was willing to do that fight. So, Conor Benn calling out Yarde Ugas. Wow, let me tell you something. That's what I call Jean-Claude Van Damme death warrant, because that's a bad fight for Conor Benn. You know, Ugas is a very... For me, like I said before, you know, the way to build Conor Benn, yeah? The way to build Conor Benn... Look at Laura Woods. Let me say one more shout out to Laura Woods tonight. Look at Laura Woods at the minute. This woman is absolutely destroying everything moving right now on DAZN. But Yarde Ugas, right, is a bad matchup for Conor Benn. What you want to do with Conor Benn is you want to get him in with guys who aren't punchers like Algieri, and you want to get him in with guys who aren't great movers. They've actually done quite well. They've matched him with guys who haven't got great footwork. They've matched him with guys that are going to come in and sit and have a tear up with him, or guys that can't punch. And they need to continue matching him like that. Ugas is a bit too much. You guys are laughing. A-Blacks, he called out Ugas. Shane, he called out Ugas. Roger Rabbit wants Crawford next for Conor Benn. You know what? There are some people out there that would pick Conor Benn. Bellew is saying Avanesian. Well, Conor Benn's been offered £500,000 to fight Avanesian. So what's the problem? Frank Warren's offered him £500,000. Do you think Conor Benn made $500,000 tonight to fight Chris Algieri on DAZN? Does anybody in here think that Conor Benn made £500,000 tonight to fight Chris Algieri? I don't think he did. But there's £500,000 on the table if he wants to come on. And don't forget, when Conor Benn fights Avanesian, that will be pay-per-view. So look, it is what it is. Shout out to Laura Woods. Laura Woods for me is the real deal tonight. Laura Woods KO'd Maya Jama, and Laura Woods done KO'd the hell out of Ebony Bridges tonight. Ebony Bridges looking absolutely shocking in tonight's show. I'm just going to try and go through a few more of your comments. I will also try and get some thoughts from Twitter as well. Looks like nobody wants to call in. No Abdul, no Daryl calling in tonight. Ingram's ill, so he can't do the post-fight. Let's have a look. Yeah, Azim likes Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, death warrant. Harvey Chan says, would be interested to see Conor Benn versus Mikey Garcia. Thinks Garcia has lost all interest in boxing. Well, that's a fight that Ebony Hearn. I nearly called him Ebony Hearn. That's a fight that Hearn can make. What do you guys think? Do you guys make Conor Benn the favourite over Mikey Garcia? Oh, what? Dave Lane says Daryl asked for the link time ago. Did he? Oh, my bad. Let me get Daryl on. Daryl, are you still there? Shit. Daryl asked for the link. Let me get Daryl on. One sec. I didn't even see, because we've got 200 people in here, and I can't see what the fuck is going on, because we still got 214 people. Right, let me quickly hit up Daryl with the link. Daryl, if you're still there, let me give you a link. Shevin, if you want the link as well, I'll get you on. It's no problem. Right, Daryl has been sent the link. All right, there you go. Daryl, I'm sorry, bro. Next time, just email me direct and say, give me the link. I didn't even see it. Daryl's coming on. So there you go. You guys love Daryl. Daryl has had fights in both the boxing ring and in the and also in Muay Thai. So, you know, Daryl, the people we get on this show know about boxing. Ain't like other channels out there. You know, these other channels out there where the dude's sitting on a sofa, never boxed. Nah, we don't want to hear what you got to say. Dude sitting on a sofa talking about boxing, they never boxed. Dude, we don't want to hear what you got to say. You never put gloves on, man. Right, Daryl coming in will be great because it will enable me to get a cup of tea and get a rest. So if you're still here, he's here. 199 in the chat. Hit the like button. We're going to get your views. I'm about to hand over to Daryl, who is here right now as we speak. Let me just get my my mic ready and turn down the volume and also sort the screen out. Bang, bang, bang. Daryl, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ultra, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you nice and clear, Dazza. All right, I'm going to go and get a cup of tea. I'm handing the reins of the show on to you. Daryl, just give us your thoughts, any thoughts that come to mind about the performance tonight from Conor Benn.
Well, I think Conor Benn actually looked really good. He was very patient. In the opening round, he was cutting the ring off very well, stalking Algieri, some great head movement. Algieri was a little bit disappointing because he didn't establish his jab at all, especially in the first two rounds. You're just allowing Conor Benn to walk into range, and he wasn't using much lateral movement. At times, I believe from in rounds 2 and 3, he was trying to do a lot of bounce steps and feints, and he was moving his head from side to side, a bit like a poor man's Usyk. But it was very, very slow, and the feints weren't actually working because Conor Benn wasn't reacting off of that, and he was still getting hit flush with jabs, even though he was trying to move his head from side to side. And I think what Ben did really well was slipping inside the pocket. I heard you saying earlier that you don't like it when people slip with their hands down. One of the benefits when you have your hands down when you're slipping is that if you do throw counter shots after the slips, they come from weird angles. Because if your hands are down by your nipples and then you're slipping and you throw like a counter uppercut or a counter hook, it'll come from outside of the guy's line of sight, and you won't see the shots coming, and you're more likely to actually land.
Daryl, there you go. Daryl's schooling me. This is the difference between me and Daryl. One of us has only done sparring, the other's actually been in real fucking fights. Carry on, Daryl. Keep going.
So yeah, so you'll oftentimes find that you'll catch the guy either up between his guard or around the side of his guard, like behind the gloves when you throw shots like that, and they usually land quite well. On the first knockdown, yes, their legs were crossed when they threw the shots, and it was a cuffing shot. But because the punch almost caused the momentum to make Algieri fall into the legs and then onto the floor, I think you can technically call it a knockdown. It wasn't a clean concussion shot, and it probably didn't hurt Algieri at all. But part of the reason why it's a knockdown is because he lost his balance due to a punch. So I think he was right to call it. It was a bit sloppy, but you can probably give him that one. But yeah, Algieri to me didn't really look like I don't want to say that he didn't come to win, but I think that he didn't do everything he could have done within his powers to win. Like he didn't look like he believed in himself. He didn't ever try and at any point in the fight establish jabs or try and do anything that would really push Ben back. He was getting a lot of success from the left hooks. So especially in the first 2 rounds, he was very aggressive sometimes up inside the pocket, and he was throwing left hooks that were landing, but he never really committed to that. Once he saw it was working, he never went back to it again in rounds 3 and 4. So yeah, what were your thoughts, Ultra, on that?
Well, I just want to ask you first and foremost, one of my biggest criticisms about Conor Benn at the minute, I'm trying to scroll the screen without showing this knockout. One of my biggest criticisms about Conor Benn has been the lack of a jab on the way in to set up the shots. Do you think that that's a valid criticism of Conor Benn? Did you think that tonight that Conor Benn continued to show tonight that he doesn't often jab his way in enough? He seems to sort of, I know he uses a bit of a head movement, but he does like to stroll in on the line and walk his way into mid range without jabbing. Do you think that's a fair comment from me tonight, or do you think there's something in that?
It's different strategies. Like one of the benefits of jabbing your way in is that let me put it like this. So a lot of Mexican fighters, they don't really use jabs. They use hard left hooks and head movement to get inside, and then they work from mid to short range with hooks and uppercuts and big right hands. So they don't really establish the jab and don't put as much emphasis on the jab. Obviously, European fighters, obviously, we're very jab first. And the benefit of being jab first is that if you don't get inside, you're still establishing points because you're racking up points using the jab and you're landing scoring shots. Obviously, if you're just slipping your way in and you don't get in for 5 or 6 rounds and the other guy's out jabbing you, then you're already down. You're down 5 or 6 rounds, aren't you? Because you're not landing anything. But I think with Ben, he's so confident that he'll be able to slip shots and get inside where he wants to work that he sometimes negates the jab. What I would like to see, though, is if he fights a guy that he can't get in on for, let's say, 3 or 4 rounds because the guy's got a great jab, then will he start to establish a jab and change his game plan? Then we'll know if he's got different facets to his game.
There's a few people in the chat who are mentioning Maurice Hooker as an opponent. I think that would be a great bit of matchmaking, because my gut feeling about Conor Benn, right? The reason why, like I said, different styles, different things. I'm not really the biggest fan of sort of walking yourself into the mid range by lots of slipping and lots of upper body movement. Sometimes, because I just feel like, for me personally, again, this is different styles. But when you've got a lot of upper body movement and you're moving and you're moving and dipping at the waist, sometimes a lot of fighters take themselves off balance when they're doing that. Do you know what I mean? They're taking themselves off balance. They're moving around their waist. Sometimes it's good for fighters to get some shots off, but I do think that some very, very clever fighters will do things like they'll throw feint and they'll make you lean over, or they'll make you slip, they'll make you roll to try and take you off balance, or to try and move you around, and then they'll adjust their feet behind that. I don't know if that made sense what I'm saying, Dal, but I've certainly seen that in the ring before, where you get fighters with a lot of movement, and very, very clever fighters will double up on the jab, triple up on the jab, or they'll throw feints, and they'll get these boxers moving, slipping, ducking, but what they're actually doing is taking themselves off balance. They're not really able to sort of return with anything serious, and then they sort of they can get traps set for them. So I'm a believer that if Conor Benn steps up a level and goes up against somebody with a very good jab and he can't get inside, I think that will be the end of Conor Benn. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for saying that, but I'm just being 100% real. I think somebody who can actually jab, I think a lot of the guys out there at welterweights are a lot bigger than him. And I think, like I said, he won't be able, and his undoing will be that he won't be able to just walk into the mid-range like he was tonight. Because to be honest, Chris Algieri, with all due respect, was in tremendous shape, but there was no deterrent, to stop Conor Benn getting to the inside tonight. And I think that the other bigger fighters, the other clever fighters, will throw a jab at him, and then they'll use footwork and angle off, or they'll throw a stiff jab at him and they'll knock him back. They'll take him off balance. But I think if you show him range and distance, I think we'll be in trouble. Just give us some thoughts on that if you can.
Yeah, I mean, Conor Benn is a extremely good athlete, and in most sports, when you're below an elite, when you're fighting at below an elite level, which Conor Benn is, he's not fighting at world level at the moment. He's fighting the guys who are like fringe world, European, British kind of level. Being that much superior of an athlete to them, you can get away with that. You can get away with just using your athleticism to negate some of the fundamentals that you're supposed to be doing. But at the top level, it might not be enough. I think that as well, you need to have a very good stamina and engine to be slipping that much during fights, especially to do it for 12 rounds consistently. And in more taxing fights at like an elite level, he might find that he's wasting a lot of energy slipping and doing a lot of that stuff where he could preserve energy, just sticking more to his fundamentals. I think guys like Ugas, Spence, that they'll probably be too big for him to try and just bully them on the inside. He would probably need more to his game than that. And I'm sure he has got more levels to go through, and more gears that he can go up through if he's challenged. But we just haven't seen that because he's not been tested yet.
We've got questions for Daryl. I'm going to cut off a little bit on Tyson because we've got questions for you. So I'm going to go for the questions. Just to say before we get through the questions for Daryl, just to say, Daryl, what I was thinking of is someone like Gervonta Davis as well. Because if you look at Gervonta, right, he's a small guy. The guys that he gets in the ring with are often quite bigger than him, particularly if you look at the Mario Barrios fight, But what I think is very clever about Gervonta is, you see when Gervonta has to deal with tall fighters, and these tall fighters are trying to keep their distance, right? And these tall fighters are throwing jabs at him. You see with Gervonta's all about loading up here and getting off power shots. And if you notice, he keeps a very, very solid base and he doesn't slip a lot. And he actually walks in, and I'm not saying it's always the great thing, but if you look at Gervonta, he walks in a lot in straight lines and he uses lead hand control. Instead of slipping and moving and dipping at the waist, which can take you off balance, he stays upright, he stays solid, and he walks in behind lead hand control, and he'll tap their jab hand down, and he'll do all kinds of things. He'll walk into range, and then he'll unload with big shots. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you think that's a valid point what I've made there about Gervonta, as opposed to someone like Conor, how they deal with tall fighters, how they deal with that tall jab?
It's a valid point, but Gervonta can walk in straight lines because even if he gets caught with a clean shot, he's got a fantastic chin, so it doesn't really matter that much. But right. we haven't. So he can get away with not slipping because if he takes one, he can eat that, and it's not a problem. But if Ben takes one flush on the chin, we haven't seen what happens yet. Well, so maybe there's a reason why he's slipping. Well, yeah, exactly. But that's probably the reason why he moves his head so much, because he has to get off the line.
All right. Right, let's get to questions. If you guys got questions for Daryl, let's get them in. Let me just quickly get rid of someone quickly here. This guy. Just get rid of this guy here. We don't play games on this channel, bro. Right, Abdullah, Mr. No Vaseline. What's he saying? I lost his question. Right, Daryl, short answers, Let's try and get through as many of these as we can. Not trying to be rude at all, but let's go through it. Right, how fast do you think they will move Ben? He's been a pro since 2016. It's your show, Daryl. Take over.
I think they'll match him quite carefully. I think he'll have two more fights of guys around this level, either over the hill or below this kind of level, and maybe like November, December next year, he might get in with whoever's holding the belt then. But yeah, they'll move him slowly.
Daryl, if you were Ben's promoter, who would you put him in with next? Take your time on this one, Dad. This is what people want to know. If you were Ben's promoter, Daryl, who would you put him in with next?
I'll take him back to British level and have him fight Michael McKinson just to solidify that he can actually deal with world level guys. So if he can't beat McKinson, he's got no chance against the top boys. So I'd match him against McKinson or Chris Congo, one of those two.
How do you see the fight with McKinson going? I think if McKinson can take his shot, which I don't know about that, because listen, one thing about Conor Benn, he's in tremendous. I'll never ever question his conditioning and the amount of work he puts in the camp. Never question that. But I honestly believe if there's any way McKinson can take a Conor Benn shot, I fear for Conor Benn in that fight, because McKinson is very cute, very, very skilled boxer. Did a little bit of film study on McKinson because he fought somebody from my gym for a WBC youth title and was very, very unfancied and won decisively in his backyard. Actually, that guy he beat, by the way, is now signed to Boxer and was now actually on one of Boxer's recent cards. How do you see? Do you think McKinson could present any sort of threat to Benn?
I think most British level guys would give Benn a very close fight. McKinson, Josh Kelly, Chris Congo, all of them will probably push Benn to his limits. But he needs that gut check to prove that he can actually beat world level guys. Because if you can't beat them guys, you're not doing anything at world level. So it depends on what he's trying to do. If you want to make a lot of money, just skip British and European and go straight in against the big boys and lose, and then come back down to British afterwards. But if you're actually trying to make a career out of this, then fight the British guys once or twice, beat them, have very hard fights and prove you can beat them, and then go up. Depends what he's trying to do in his career.
Nadav says he wants to see Conor Benn beat the winner of Khan and Brook, before we start hyping him up. I think that's what he means. How do you see Conor Benn against the winner of Khan and Brook? How do you see that fight going?
I think Brook against Brook, that would be. I think Brook would be a harder fight for Benn than what Khan would be, purely because I think at some point with Benn's athletic abilities, he would get close enough to Khan to land, and I don't think Khan's chin would hold up to a shot against Benn. I think Brook though would be a lot more of a tougher test for Benn, because I think he's a bit more durable than Khan at this stage in his career.
I'm just going through here. Just a couple of comments to go through here. No, thank you. Chris Congo gives Benn issues, according to Joe. Clouds Gaming says, great shout, Daryl. McKinson is a very good boxer. I think he schools Benn. Oscar Boyle says, Benn blazes McKinson. Luke Bignall agrees with the Khan and Brook winner is best next for him. I think that's a very good fight if they can make that happen. I think both Khan and Brook aren't really tied to a network per se, so there's nothing really stopping them from going to the zone. I agree with Daryl, by the way. I think Brook. Daryl, quickly, let me ask you, who do you think's more washed, Brook or Khan? Just quickly, I would honestly say I think Brook's probably the better fighter, but I think Brook might be more washed.
Yeah, I don't think. I think Brook's punch resistance in his eyes, he's taking a lot of damage. I think he's probably more washed up. I think Khan's skill set hasn't deteriorated much, but I think Brook's durability is a big concern at the moment.
What do you think about this fight? We had Ingram on a couple of a month or two ago, and he talked about Florian Marku and Conor Benn. Daryl, by the way, when you need to get off, Daryl, just cut me off and go, because you know I'm like.
Okay.
I'll keep
you carry on.
I'll keep you until the end of time. You know what I'm like. Florian Marku. We had Ingram on here about a couple of months ago. He swore blind, that Florian Marku would ice Conor Benn, right? He swore blind. And Conor Benn's been accused of ducking Florian Marku for some time now. What do you think after that performance tonight? And just after that performance tonight, Daryl, has your opinion of Conor Benn also gone up? So Conor Benn versus Marku, but after that performance tonight, has your opinion of Conor Benn gone up? You thought, I've seen something tonight in Conor Benn. I've seen something in the way he set up his shots. Like, actually, maybe this kid's a little bit more than a bit of hype.
I've watched Marku's last two fights and I've watched Conor Benn's last two. And from what I've seen, Benn looks the better fighter out of the two to me. He's got more variability in what he can actually do. Marku, to me, looks very... If his plan A isn't working, he doesn't know what to do to change that up to then give the guy a different look to get him out of there. And I think Marku's a guy that fights to the level of his opposition. Whereas I think with Ben always looks to implement his game plan and try and win regardless of who's in front of him. Mark hasn't really impressed me, to be honest, since I've watched his last two at all. And I think Ben would actually beat him.
Look at this. Green Machine, I think he's agreeing with you. He says, Green Machine says, I think Ben is too explosive now and Marku will be in deep water quick. Kent Donk Wizard says Marku takes too many to land his own. I think you might be agreeing with that. Don Self says Marku versus Ben, proper tear up. Marku could go toe to toe with him easily. And Mr. JR says Marku is overrated. Jay, can I just quickly say, JR is another one. Jay, if you want to send me videos of you sparring, it's my new email address is ultratechsports, I think, @gmail.com. So my email address has changed, by the way. So just because a few people, Daryl, are actually just emailing me, and I've been emailed some funny shit. Actually, I can't say. I'll tell you off. I've been emailed some funny shit. Sorry, I got a bit taken away there, Daryl. Right, coaching, Daryl. Conor Benn's coaching situation. I'm of the opinion, that Tony Sims ain't really the best coach for Conor Benn. The reason why I say that, is like I said before, I still think for me, and like I said, I know you'll disagree if you disagree, but I still think there's question marks over the fundamentals from Conor Benn. To me tonight, I thought he boxed, particularly rounds 3 and 4, I thought he boxed very, very well. For me personally, I like to see a little bit more of the jab to the head. I like to see him double jab and bring his feet in. That's something that I'm not seeing a lot from Conor Benn at the minute there, Darryl. What I expect to see a little bit more is jab, double jab, and bring the feet in with the jab to close distance, and then work your hooks off that. I ain't seeing that a lot from Conor Benn. What I'm seeing a lot from Conor Benn is the odd little jab to the body, walks in straight lines, the odd little jab to the body, and then he unloads with a big left hook or an overhand right off that. I've still got question marks over the fundamentals. And I think that he's a very, very good athlete, got tremendous work ethic, but I do question, with Tony Sims, what is he actually learning? Because I've heard things about Tony Sims before where he's very, very good at getting fighters fit, right, and in shape. But there's question marks over some of the more technical aspects of the game. Give us any thoughts you got on that, Darryl.
Without ever seeing Tony Sims coach, it's hard for me to say because potentially Tony Sims is telling him to do all this stuff and he's just not doing it in the ring. We don't know because I don't see the sessions.
Agreed.
But from what I can see of his style, he looks to me as if I see glimpses of him doing the fundamentals, but then he goes back to what he likes. And like one thing I can relate to is sometimes in a live scenario when you've got your chocolate moves, you've got your favorite moves that you like to do and things that you're very good at, and you've got things that like fundamentals or techniques that that you're supposed to be doing, but that you don't prefer. So when things are going your way in a fight, like when it's going easy, just doing what you like to do and doing things your way in your style, you just keep reverting back to type and doing what you want to do. And if it's working, it's working. But it's only when it doesn't work, that's when you need to see if the coach is going to tell you, okay, listen, stop doing that and then do things my way. And that's when we'll see if he's got those other elements to his arsenal.
That's a very, very good answer, to be honest. Right, Darryl. I don't know if you can see the screen, but if not, I'm going to just remove my banner. We're looking now at to finish. I'm going to ask you this question, then I'm going to let you go after this one, Darryl. But listen, Darryl, absolutely taking me to school. To be honest, that's why I have to get you off, Darryl, man. Like, you know what I mean? You're taking me to school here on a sport of boxing. Let me ask you. On the screen right now, I've got the current welterweight champions up, according to Box Live, right? And a very, very bad resolution on these pictures, but I think you guys can make the names out, right? I'm going to read you names. Or some of these, obviously, we wouldn't put in the ring of Conor Benn, right? But out of all these names I'm going to read you, what are these top guys do you think that Conor Benn is capable of beating in a title fight? So Terence Crawford, obviously, that's a no. Spence Jr., Ugas, Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Danny Garcia. I've never seen this guy. Abdu Karkarov, I've never seen him. Stanonis, Avanesian, and Buratev, right? Now, are there any names out of that list? Right? According to those are the Ring Magazine top welterweights. So those are the top 10 welterweights according to Ring Magazine, right? Are there any names that have jumped out? Are there any obvious names? The people that people be most familiar with are the names like Avanesian, Garcia, Ortiz, Ennis, Ugas, obviously Spence Jr. and Crawford. Are there any of these guys that you think in a year's time that you could see, look, Conor Benn could take a belt off any of these guys?
He would have a hard night against all of them. The only name that stands out that he might have a little bit of a chance against is Danny Garcia. I still make Danny Garcia the favourite, and I make Ben a live underdog against Garcia. He could potentially beat him, maybe, but it'd be a very tough fight.
What do you see in Danny Garcia that makes you think Conor's got the chance? What is it about the styles that make you think that?
Danny Garcia's had a very hard career in terms of he's fought a lot of good guys. He's taken a lot of punishment because of his style. He's willing to take two to land one. Danny Garcia is very flat-footed. He likes to he likes to catch and counter a lot. So I think he is able to be outboxed, especially guys who have good movement. So yeah, I think with Benn's athleticism and his ability to bounce in and out of range and fight inside up close, but also get out when he needs to. He could potentially have a bit of success. What he would struggle with, I think, is if he starts to get too trigger happy. Garcia could land that big catch and counter like he did against Khan and just flatline him. So that, I'll give him a 30% chance against Garcia, but yeah, he would be an underdog.
I tell you a worry about Garcia tonight. The one shot that Algieri kept catching Conor Benn with tonight, he couldn't miss was the left hook. Couldn't miss Conor Benn with the left hook tonight. And Danny Garcia's got one of the best left hooks in the business. He's got tremendous timing on that left hook, as well as tremendous power. So, like I said before, that would be a shot that, you know, you'd really want Conor Benn to tuck that right hand in after he throws it, because if you leave your right hand out away from your chin against Danny Garcia, you can be in massive trouble in a fight like that. Of all these names, Daryl, what is the name that you, obviously, most people say Spence or Crawford, right? Is there any names here that you say, look, there's just no way, keep him away from? Obviously, I think, other than Crawford, we're going to take Crawford out to make it a little bit more competitive. He's called out Yarde Ugas tonight. Daryl, how do you think a fight would play out? Do you think Conor Benn showed tonight that he's ready for a guy like Yarde Ugas? And also, let me ask this. If you put Conor Benn in the ring tonight with any of these guys, so like what are the fighters on this ring top 10 pound for pound where you would say, other than Crawford, we say, look, absolutely not. And let me throw one more name in there as well, Daryl. What if Manny Pacquiao was to come out of retirement somewhere down the line looking for a payday? I'm just putting names out of my ass here, right? What if Manny Pacquiao pulled his name out of retirement? Do you think Conor Benn would have any kind of chance against them very, very old?
Most of these guys, to be honest, would stop them within 6 rounds. Ennis, keep him away from Ennis. He'd absolutely obliterate him. Ugas is a stylistic problem because he's as athletic as Benn, more powerful, bigger, stronger. So he negates. It's a bad style matchup. He negates all of Benn's attributes. Spence, just not pointless. Way too good. Yeah, most of these guys beat Benn within 6, in my opinion. McKinson, I can see him up there. But you know that would be a decent. That's the one I would say for him to fight next to see where he's at. If he struggles with McKinson, then he's not going to get for any of these guys anyway. So that's a good barometer for him. But it won't happen, in my opinion, because I think if you lose to McKinson, there's too many question marks get flagged and it takes away from his marketability. So that fight won't happen.
Right, Daryl, give us your final thoughts then on the card as a whole. It could be on any fight you saw tonight. It could be in anything. By the way, before I get to give you final thoughts, somebody also asked you, Laura Woods or Maya Jama? I know you're picking Maya Jama, but
what for? What one night or a series? It depends.
Okay.
On what.
Let's
I think
both.
go on.
For one nighter, Laura Woods or Maya Jama?
I think Laura Woods are probably more fun for one night, and Maya Jama probably would be better long term.
Long term? I thought it could be complete opposite, Daryl. I thought you'd go with. I was tempted to go with Maya Jama for one nighter, for the one hitter quitter, and Laura Woods for the long. What's wrong with?
Well, I'll be looking to come up financially off of that Maya Jama situation, man. I'll be trying to get in them pockets.
Daryl put Maya Jama on child support. Daryl put Maya Jama on child support and shit. Daryl, give us your final thoughts. You can go for as long as you want. Listen, anything on the card, the fights, boxing in general, Daryl. Just give us your final thoughts on tonight's card, boxing as a whole. Anything you want, go for it.
Yeah, to be honest, I only watched 2 fights. I watched this last one and the Ben fight, and I watched Katie Taylor. The Katie Taylor fight was fucking boring, man. Katie Taylor for me is so bad to watch. She for someone who has supposedly the skills that they talk about. I never actually see that translate into the ring.
Never.
It's so boring. She's at. I actually prefer watching Sonny Edwards box. Like Sonny Edwards was really skillful.
Yeah.
Some people say, "Oh, Sonny Edwards is boring. He's a decision like a master of decisions." But when I watch Sonny Edwards box, I actually enjoy watching some of his skills. But with Katie Taylor, like there's just no skill. It's just like she uses elite level brawling tactics, coming head first and forearms and messing like smothering her own work. It's just vile to watch. I don't see it. I don't see this elite fight when I watch Katie Taylor.
Let me just say, Darryl, let me just say also, what do you think about Katie Taylor? Well, I'll ask you quick before you go. Katie Taylor, I made a comment today about women's boxing, yeah? And I believe that if women's boxing ever changed, yeah, towards 3-minute rounds, I think Katie Taylor would find it even more difficult to win, because I do think, Darryl, like I said, she's got that very amateur style of boxing, that in and out style, pitty patter shot style. And I just think, like I said, women's boxing is made for it in a minute. But I think as time goes on, as women's boxing evolves, I think it's going to pass women like Katie Taylor by. And if you've got any thoughts on that, and also the way her head keeps going in, like I said, she's another one who likes to jump in without throwing a jab. She leaps in without throwing a jab. And like I said, the head's always clashing, Darryl.
Yeah, I think against Serrano, she would really, really struggle. I'd love to see that fight next. Actually, I'm not sure if we will. Who were the belt holders in that division? Is it just her and Serrano? They're the last two.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But from what I've heard, Darryl, Eddie Hearn said recently, as early as this week, that Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano is already like almost done.
He's a fucking.
I don't think he said that tonight, but he gave a date. I think he said like April or May or something. I'm going to try and get it up right now. But I think he said like before this fight, he said that they pretty much reached an agreement already. That if these two win their best fights, they're going to be fighting next year. There you go. Look, it's right up on the screen right here. There you go. So yeah, that's Jake Paul confirming it. There you go. But yeah, here we go.
I'm taking Serrano by KO in that one.
Punches too hard. Look, Eddie Hearn has stated, this is at 8th of December. Eddie Hearn has stated that Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano is almost set for April at Madison Square Garden in New York. So they both must win their fights. If they do, Eddie Hearn's target in April at MSG. I agree with you, Darryl. I'll let you carry on. I think Serrano hits very hard with either hand. And I think Katie Taylor likes to fall into the inside without jabbing first. She likes to jump in, she literally leap in head first. But I think against a puncher like Serrano, Darryl, could be bad news.
Because Serrano last fought on Triller, didn't she? So is this fight going to be on Matchroom or will it be on Triller again?
I have no idea. I have no idea where it will be.
Well, yeah, because I can't see her letting Katie Taylor fight on Triller. So I guess I'll have to make an offer to come over and fight on the Matchroom card.
Well, like I said, we know which way the judges' cards are going to go with that. All right, Dazza, thank you very much. You're welcome to come on tomorrow.
Cheers.
You know? Look, listen.
Yeah, I'll jump on tomorrow.
Yeah. I think tomorrow we might have a bit of Riku. He hasn't messaged me yet, but this, these light-skinned brothers work, Darryl. Do you know what I mean? Last minute and all that. last minute text and all that shit. So yeah. Hopefully we'll get you on tomorrow, Dazza. And thanks very much, bro. Speak to you hopefully tomorrow, right?
Okay. Cheers, mate. Bye.
All right, see you later. Okay. The man, Darryl is one of the best in the business right now. Darryl is one of the best in the business right now. Look at these guys. We're bringing through these guys, Darryl and Abdul. Two of the best in the business on any channel right now. And Darryl really does know his stuff. Been in the ring, been punched in the face. Knows a lot more about the sport of boxing than me. Right. I think we're going to get ready to wrap up soon. I'm going to stay on for another 5 or so minutes. 177 people still in here. We didn't get to beat Spencer Fearon and Tunde Ajayi. They've absolutely pulled away from us. They're destroying us at this moment in time in terms of views. But I believe they've got Anthony Yarde sitting down and watching their shows live. So it is what it is. Big shout out to Tunde Ajayi. Shout out to Spencer Fearon. But more of a shout out to Tunde Ajayi for that fantastic performance, from Anthony Yarde over the weekend. Let's just have a look. I think they've stopped going live now. Yeah, they had Anthony Yarde in their live. They were at one point, we were actually like close to beating them. And then they got Anthony Yarde. Dave Lane says Darryl's knowledge of the sport is brilliant. Yeah, Darryl knows the sport. There's no question. I think, like I said, don't know what Darryl hasn't got his own fucking channel for, but it is what it is. Nadav Drew says Tunde's still a bum. You can't please everybody. Where's Abdul? Is Abdul in the chat? Is he coming on tomorrow or what? Let me see if Abdul's still here. Is Abdul coming on tonight or tomorrow or what? I don't know what he's fucking doing. Last comments. Get your last comments in. Azima1 says, Eddie and Hearn Sr. have been smoking that good shit again. I never rated Katie Taylor. If a girl just times her, she'll get knocked out cold. So not a lot of love for Katie Taylor. GB Guthrie, Katie Taylor was doing all that hugging in 2-minute round. Very true. Katie Taylor fights a lot of headbutting and a lot of hugging. I think, like I said, people have caught on to her now. With all due respect, she's not exciting to watch. Like, once you've seen one of her fights, you've seen them all. Oh my God. Somebody, Nadav Drew says, Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. Is that on next week? God, do you guys want a live for that? Press 1 if you want the live. Press 2 if you don't. Derek Chisora versus Joseph Parker. Is this garbage on next week? Jesus Christ. Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Let's have a look. When's this shit on? Oh my gosh, it is 18th of December. Next week. Jesus Christ. You guys all want to... This is absolute shite, this is. Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora in the rematch that nobody wants to see. I mean, people are complaining about Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde, right? And look, they're going to fucking watch Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. This is as bad as it gets. Do you know what? If Derek Chisora gets beat fair and square and then complains in the post-fight and claims he's robbed and then goes to Five Guys and gets everyone a burger, I'll probably end up doing a live show for that. But fuck me, I mean, doing a live show, I mean, that is caring the community, isn't it? Let's be fucking honest, right? Me doing a live show for Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora really is care in the community. Taking the piss, that is. All of you are saying 1-1-1. What do you want to do? You want to give me a fucking heart attack? Jesus fucking Christ. I've been doing this show for 2.5 hours, milking it out. How are we going to get through Joseph Parker versus... The only way we're going to be able to get through that is by looking at Ebony Bridges' lingerie again. Let's have a look here. Ultra, do the live. I need some unfiltered savage commentary. Well, we'll have to see. Mark Stanton says Derek's first outing with his new trainer. How many new trainers has Derek Chisora had? How many new trainers has Derek Chisora had? He's been trained by just about everybody in the fucking business. I mean, look, how many times have we seen Derek Chisora with a new trainer? 150 times. Ket Doc Wizard says, I love Derek, but his fights are absolutely pointless now. He's finished. It's going to be more of the same. You're going to see Chisora, walking in head first and just wailing away. You know how Derek Chisora does. He dips down, he brings his head right over his front foot, lots of left and right hooks. Most of his shots will hit arms and chest and body, and then he'll turn around and say he was robbed afterwards. It's just the same old fucking BS, isn't it? Same old BS from Chisora. But listen, me and Chisora do share the same politics. We're both black conservatives. Ironic that, isn't it? Me and Derek Chisora both have exactly the same politics. Both black conservatives. Oscar Boyle says, what's one big fight you want to see in 2022? One big fight I want to see. In 2022, the ideal fight would be Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. That ain't going to happen. That would be my ideal fight. If I had to pick one fight to see in 2022, it would be Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, which will never happen for obvious reasons. Shevin says, Daryl knows his birds. Top man, no golden girl grannies. Shevin's an idiot. I actually would pick Maya Jama for the one-nighter and Laura Woods for the long-term. Who the fuck is getting into... Stormzy couldn't even do a long-term with Maya Jama. Stormzy. Let's be real. And, Stormzy's a big guy. He's a built guy. He would beat the shit out of me, but let's be honest. Stormzy ain't exactly, he's no Tyson Beckford. Let's put it this way. Do you know what I mean? Stormzy is no Tyson Beckford. My missus has come in the room and she's actually making she's actually shaking a fist at me for talking about relationships with another woman. So if somebody can call up the Samaritans for me, or if somebody can call up Crisis and report her, that would be fantastic. She's made me pork chops for dinner. I'm off. Hope you've had a good evening. Peace.